What's up, Jacob, right?
Yes,
What's
sir.
up, buddy?
Oh, I'm doing good.
Doing good? Yeah.
Just doing the podcast, having fun,
Yeah.
getting out there.
Yeah, so you're the host of the Heavy Breathing podcast or Heavy Breathing?
It varies,
Either
whichever
one.
one.
Yeah. Heavy Breathing podcast. Yeah, I enjoy it, man. It's actually pretty cool. I like what you guys got going on. You have two other co-hosts, right?
Yeah, I got Jess Ferris and Brock Bristow. They just joined me.
Yeah.
And honestly, thank God they joined me because I was getting bored.
Help you out a little bit.
Yeah.
Dude, it's hard to do like a one-man ship. You know, it is.
It gets tough.
Because you got to keep things flowing, conversation flowing. At least now you can kind of have the two other people to kind of rely on. Hey, you know, kind of when you're in a dead spot where you're kind of thinking, you know, they can help out. And then you start building that relationship to where they kind of can see. Yeah. You're like, oh, shit, he's kind of stuck. Let me jump in here.
They definitely make it more exciting. Yeah. And they call me out. They call me out a lot, which I do love that they do that because it helps me, like, it better banter. And then also it just, like, keeps it going. You know, I just like it. I like the dynamic.
Yeah, they'll push you to kind of branch out, push you to kind of. I see you guys be fighting sometimes.
I'm usually fighting with the guys behind the camera.
Like, hey, man, I think it's kind of funny, though, to be honest with you guys.
They're always finding so I think they do it on purpose. They're always trying to find something to get me started.
Well, you know what I mean? And it's just fun. You know how when you get a group of guys in a room, there's going to be some bullshit going on, you know what I mean? Fucking around with each other. So.
Jess is the one that just kind of keeps
everything in line.
Yeah, keeps everything good.
Yeah, hell yeah, man. How long you been doing that podcast for?
I started that podcast in, what was it? 2021, I believe.
Okay.
I was like, I kept sitting and I was like, I got to do something. There's something I got to do. I want to branch out, start doing stuff. Yeah. And then I was like, well, I have a lot of stories. I was like, I'm always doing stuff. And people are like, you should record when you do these things. Because they're always like, you always have good stories. And I was like, well, I might as well just like do a podcast. Screw it. And I didn't really I started watching podcasts like maybe like a couple months before. And I just got
Who got you into that?
I just kind of I looked him up one day when I was bored at work. And I was just like, oh, I know who Joe Rogan is. And to be honest, I'm going to be real. I low-key thought Joe Rogan at the time was Dana White. So
my God, what the fuck?
Yeah, I don't know why I thought that. I guess
two bald white guys.
Yeah, that's all I saw. And then I was just like, all right, Dana White's podcast. I was like, I don't know why this ain't popping up. And then I kept seeing Joe Rogan. I was like, maybe that's who the guy I'm looking for. And then I just fell in love with that podcast. And then I branched out to Two Bears, One Cave. Bad Friends is my favorite. And then just all kinds. And then I remember
I started listening to Joe Rogan back in like 2013 when nobody knew about his podcast. Yeah, that was actually a buddy of mine at work, I think, told me about him. And I was like, what the fuck is this, man? Because, at the time I was just listening to the radio at work. I'd be listening to music. I work in a job that's kind of isolating. So all day I'm just headphones in. And, you can only listen to so many like music
songs,
videos.
Yeah. I know.
Bear with me. This fucking chair. I took the chair that falls away from the guests. That way they can kind of focus. I felt bad, dude, because they'd be sitting in the chair, and then all of a sudden, by the end of the podcast, they'd be like all the way down here. And I'm editing. I'm like, what the fuck is that? Why is he 1 foot down? So I was like, well, let me switch it. At least I can kind of catch it.
Yeah, we got a chair like that at our studio.
Dude, it's hard to find chairs that are affordable, man.
Yeah, literally, I had to a lot of the episodes, I'm just grabbing the bars at the bottom, just holding myself because I keep always floating away from
it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's kind of at like an angle.
I don't know. I think it's
that's
just
kind of how this is right here because the basement floor is kind of angled.
It might be.
So I feel like kind of like falling back.
Every time I get in it, I just slowly go away, and I'm just like, well, there I go once again. They're like, Jacob, get in the shot. I'm like, shut up, bro. I'm like, it's these chairs. I'm like, I'm trying here,
dude. I've been looking for some chairs too because as you sat down, I'm sure you've seen how beat up they were. A buddy of mine actually gave them to me, so I appreciate it.
Yeah.
But
not hating. But...
Yeah, not hating. But I need to find some new ones. It's hard to find. I need a set of 4.
Yeah,
because I want to add another mic. So there's 3 mics. And I kind of want them all the same type of chairs. You see, there's kind of like a weird gamer camo chair right here.
Yeah, I get what you mean. Better looking aesthetic or something.
Yeah, like just kind of all formal a little bit. Yeah, you know what I mean? That way it looks better in the shot. But
when we started, we all I had was folding chairs, and then I just threw a tarp thing over it. But we had it hidden so well, so like
you couldn't tell.
Couldn't even tell. We had it set.
You'll hear that every now and then.
Yeah.
There's families upstairs, so in-house studio. I said every podcast, but yeah, dude. And I've been looking on Marketplace for a while for something, but it's hard to find.
Marketplace is just like a hit and miss.
Hit and miss, man. You gotta watch that shit like every day, dude.
Oh, I know.
But
it gets weird on there too.
Hopefully I'll find some. Anybody have any chairs? My 3 subscribers, please hit me up.
Yeah, we need some chairs ASAP.
Yeah, let me know, man. I need 4 of them, and preferably not costing me an arm and a leg. But yeah, man. So I used to listen to him, and I started listening to him like in 2013, and I was like, damn, man, like where's this been my whole life? Like actual conversation, you know. And I think from then on, just stayed listening to him for a while, and I don't know, dude. I grew to love it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, damn, man, I kind of want to start something like this, but
No,
you know, it took me a while to kind of get the courage to be like, fuck it, let's do it.
Making your first video and making that leap is literally, it takes a lot of like self-talking that do it. And you kind of ask people like, you know, I've been thinking about doing this, and everyone's just like, oh yeah, that'd be cool. But then you're like, oh, should I do it? And then you just got to just take the leap.
Shit, even now, I'm still kind of just the guy with the podcast. You know, it's like it's not like it's not like, I mean, and I get it. I'm just starting. You know, nobody ever wants to hop on the train until it gets going. But it's it's weird, man. It has its own little battles. You know, it took me a while to kind of get comfortable, especially with the camera. You know what I mean? Like my last podcast I did was audio only. So
I mean, that's how I did my first episode, was audio only because I didn't know how to like do any of that, and I had my cousin help me out, and he's like, if you just record on your phone, he's like, that'll work too.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh really? And then I did that, and I was just like, oh. And like the first a couple episodes, I was just straight doing that, and then that's when my old guy Juan, he hit me up, and he was just like, dude, let me just do this for you. He's like, I can see you're wanting to do it. He's like, I got you. I was like, shit, all right, bet. Yeah, it just kind of grew and grew.
Yeah, it grew. So you guys started out just like kind of in your house, or? Yeah,
I started, the first episode I ever did, it was at my friend's house, Brian, and I got a laptop. I had like this audio app thing on there or something, and I bought like this really shitty mic from like Nebraska, Furniture Mart. And then I was just like, well, let's just go set up and do one. And we went in his kid's room, like threw all their stuff in her crib, and just sat there on like one of her play tables and just did a whole podcast. And we're like, let's see how this goes.
They were like, man, what you doing? Y'all rapping?
Yeah.
Mics and shit.
Why are you in my daughter's room?
Yeah, what the fuck?
That was cool. Fun.
Hey, man, that's where it starts. You know what I mean? You don't need a high-end studio right away. You know what I mean? Sometimes you just got to start and progress on. You know what I mean? And just kind of get little by little.
Yeah.
You know, shit, I started out with one of those plastic fold-out tables, threw a piece of cloth on it. I mean, even now, shit, this is a poker table.
Yeah, I thought this looked a little familiar.
Yeah, I mean, this little poker table I've had for a long time, just threw a tarp on it and threw some mics on it. I mean, that's all you need, you know what I mean? Like, it'd be nice to have more, you know what I mean? Yeah. It looks nice for sure, but if anybody out there's like really trying to start getting into it, I mean, shit, all you need, like you said, is a camera and a mic.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's it.
Audio is really where you need to hit, because nobody wants to listen to a YouTube video or like the shitty ass audio.
Oh, I know. I know it because I had them, and when I did the first one, then I bought some on Amazon. And everyone was pretty cool though. Like now that I think back at it, like they saw me do the first one or the first two, I can't remember. And then they were like, "Let me." They're like, "If you're really trying to do this," and I'm like, "Yeah." So like my godmother, she's like, "Well, let me buy some mics for you," and she bought me these ones off of Amazon, which I'm always grateful for. I'm glad she did that, you know.
Yeah.
And then I was using those for a little bit, and then it just like slowly progressed. And then my cousin who was editing, he does like a lot of stock stuff, and he was like, "Can I just buy you like the equipment you're gonna need?" And I was just like, I mean, if you're just offering, I was like, you don't have to though. And he's
first
like,
sponsor.
Yeah. literally. He's like, no, he's like, I believe in it. He's like, I think it was gonna go good. And I was just like, all right. And then he like hit me back. He's like, everything's being sent to you.
That's awesome.
And I was like, what is it? And he spent like $1,000 on it. I was just like, he bought me like 4 mics,
Damn.
Shure mics. He bought me like a whole like the wires, everything. He got me the
shirt ones are the ones that
like Joe Rogan used. Yeah,
those are nice.
Yeah, oh my god, I love them.
Yeah,
and then he bought me like one of those too. I forget what they're called.
Which one?
Like that.
Oh yeah, amplifier.
Yeah, amplifier. Got me that. He got me the whole thing, the plug in on the mic. I mean, he got it all. I was just like, oh damn, bro. I was like, you didn't have to do all that. I was like,
that's pretty cool.
I'll get you back though. Like, I'll pay for sure.
Take you out for a beer.
Yeah, literally. And then it just kind of just grew from there. And then it's cool.
Who was your first guest?
My first guest. So technically, the dude I first did it with, he was like my co-host.
Uh-huh.
So I guess I would consider him as like my first guest, which would be my friend Brian.
Mm-hmm.
But then my second guest, I think, was my friends Ralph and Walla, and they used to do the podcast with me too. But they were technically my first guest.
Yeah,
and
you guys just kind of got on there and just shot the shit, just talked,
and just went, and then it just kind of just progressed. And
I think it's cool, man. And I think a lot of people. I think local podcasts are kind of underrated, like because we actually offer a lot more insight to an actual normal person's perspective. Yeah, you know what I mean?
It's something you can like agree with more and see yourself with.
I think people are just so used to. I mean, even like a Joe Rogan style. Like, if you think about it, I love the dude. He's been he's helped me change my life drastically. If there's anybody in Kansas City, it's me, because I've watched thousands of hours of his content and have actually changed and a lot of myself because of him, and seen a lot of flaws and bad things in myself, from listening to him. And so he's been a big inspiration to me. But even him, at some point, you make so much money. It's like, are you really in touch with reality, with the normal common people? And so I think that normal people conversating on the mic, explaining maybe, and it doesn't always have to be like, oh, we're talking about politics, we're talking about what's going on right now, but even just humor or everyday life or just venting or there's so many people in Kansas City, and if you're doing it out of passion for podcasting, or making vlogs or whatever you do, instead of trying to chase the views and chase the likes and blah blah, if you're just doing it for that, you will see over time how many people you can kind of like bring in that kind of think like you, or needed to maybe hear something that you talked about. And not every episode is going to be life changing for somebody, but every a couple of episodes, they're just episodes, and then boom, one episode hits, you have a great guest on, or you went on a rant that helped somebody go through some shit that they're going through at the moment that you've already went through. And something small can change someone's life, because we're so isolated right now in today's world. Like, we don't talk to our neighbors. We don't fucking talk to family.
Yeah, I know. I know it.
And so having this, at least, since everything is so technology based, at least people can go on there and communicate in this weird sort of talking head way, but like, listen, you can, and people, I'm surprised they don't engage as much as, I'm sure you've asked on your podcast for people to comment, send us DMs, idea, I always put that out there, and everyone goes pretty silent about it. I mean, it's not a big deal, but you can engage and with local people around you and like create this cool little community, you know what I mean? That, like you said, you like the Bad Friends and Two Bears in One Cave. What did Joe Rogan do? He went on a mic back in like 2009, started his podcast, brought all these comedians and all these guys, created this community that they now have, and now it's like, they have this weird little, I don't know, like little community around them,
It's just like a team almost, like everyone's just like, how I kind of picture it, and it's kind of like dorky to say it in this way, but like, you ever like watch those Avengers movies? You know how the whole team's together, so the one big guy, and then they all branch off, have their own movies and stuff, but it all just seems like it's just, I don't know, that's how I sometimes kind of picture it. Like,
well, I mean, one person is, you need numbers.
And it's just like that whole community is
to create a movement.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I always look at stuff in a dorky way, but
that's all good, man. Shit, I like Avengers. Is that what you're into? You into comics and stuff like that?
not comics per se, but the movies, fucking love them.
Yeah,
love
I like them, but there's fucking so many of them.
There is. They're all over the place.
And dude, be honest with you, man, I don't know if you've noticed this. Marvel got kind of corny, bro.
You know what they got? They got too like
political.
Yeah, and they just
too
like
comedic.
It seems like they're trying a little bit. Yeah, a little too comedic, I think. But also, like, I think they what is it? It seems like they're trying to like be careful for somebody. Like they're
for sure.
Trying to
Aren't
hit,
they
like,
Disney, a part of Disney or some shit?
Yeah, and
probably?
it's just like it's too. And it sounds fucked up to say, but it's like too inclusive in a sense to where it's like
cringy.
Yeah, and it's just like, really?
Yeah,
like, you didn't have to do all that. That's just doing too much.
It gets weird, dude. But that's Hollywood.
Yeah, it's just
though, not like they're so far out of touch with reality of what normal people actually find entertaining.
Yeah, and it is so I always go like I've been going on rants lately. It's just like you don't ever see comedy movies anymore.
Yeah,
you don't see them at all in theaters. I can't even tell you the last time I went to a theater to go see a comedy movie.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Because they don't come out.
Like you're talking about like early 2000s comedy, like Tropic Thunder type comedy?
Yeah, stuff like just, I think the last good comedy I saw in theaters was probably Good Boys, the one about the little middle schooler kids.
I think so.
It's like a super bad almost basically, but I think that was the last like comedy movie I actually really saw in theaters because they all go stream and they all go do all that, and it's just like there's just so much, It's just I don't know where I was going with that rant, but I just go off.
No comedy, like it's kind of changed over time.
Yeah, and it just that's what it. Yeah, with like all that Marvel stuff too, it's just like I don't know. It just seems like it's just kind of it's too much, and it's just kind of like I'm zoning out of it now.
Yeah,
and it's like I want to look for other stuff, like more raunchier stuff.
Yeah, I like well, that's why I kind of like DC, but then DC's got its own flaws too. You know what I mean?
DC's just all over the place. I like Suicide Squad. Yeah. That was cool. The newer one. The newer one.
The newer one? I haven't seen the newer one.
The newer one with John Cena in it. That was a good one. Mm-mm. Yeah, I like that
Wasn't he a superhero in another movie too?
That I don't know.
Or was it Suicide Squad where he was kind of goofy?
Yeah, Suicide Squad.
Yeah, okay. Maybe I have seen that one.
Yeah, he had the big ass helmet. Yeah, he was cool. That was a cool one.
Yeah, Suicide Squad was cool. I mean, dude, hey, I kind of liked the last Batman. I know they got kind of shit for it, but who was the guy, the Twilight guy?
Robert Pattinson. Yeah,
dude. I thought it was kind of good.
I liked it. I thought
kind of dark.
It was dark. It was crazy long though. That
for sure.
Yeah, but
it was like 3 hours.
Yeah, but I liked the like thriller. Like it kind of gave like it felt like the one with Heath Ledger Joker, Dark Knight.
Dark Knight, that was a good one.
Yeah, it kind of gave me those vibes again.
Yeah,
kind of felt more realistic.
Or like cool. Bane,
Bane. Oh, Dark Knight Rises. Yeah, that was a good one.
That was a good one.
I just went through like a whole phase of watching those movies again.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. DC wasn't too bad. Like when Christian Bale came into the Batman series, I mean, I remember Batman growing up, dude. It was kind of corny.
Yeah.
But it was cool when you were a kid. You know what I mean? But then like when they changed it up and they had the Christian Bale saga, it was like, oh shit.
You see, so when I grew up, all I ever knew was basically I was born 99.
Oh, okay.
So I only knew the Christian Bale Batman. So
I'm not too. I was born in 92. So
okay. Yeah. So like all I knew was just like, oh, this is the Batman, and then I watched like the George Clooney one. I was like, the fuck is this? I was like, this ain't Batman.
Fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger as
I was just like,
what was he, the Mr. Freeze?
Yeah, I was like, who the fuck is these people? I was
it was kind of corny, dude.
Dumb.
But it was more geared towards looking like the comic, though. If you look at both of them,
for sure. But
it has its place, I guess.
Yeah, because I remember
the one that was weird was the one we were just talking about with the Twilight guy. The penguin.
Oh yeah, that was Colin Farrell.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Yeah, that was
Someone told me that, and I looked at it, and I was like, nah.
For the longest, I had him mixed up with someone in the trailers because they said he did all this makeup, and I thought he was someone else. I was like, I kept telling everyone, I was like, that's who he is. It's whoever the main detective dude is that gets killed by him or something. He has like a beard.
It's been a while since I've seen it.
Well, it was one of those dudes, and then I watched the movie. I was like, oh shit, that's not him. I was like, that's him, the fucking penguin dude. I was like, oh okay.
Yeah,
and he looked totally different. Yeah, but that was cool though. I liked what they did with that.
Yeah, I like that. And then, like I said, Marvel's cool, dude. I like watching some of the YouTube videos on the chronological order, try to explain everything because there's so many of them. My brothers are really into like Marvel. They don't really like DC, but they're pretty into Marvel, and they've sent me videos like explaining the whole timeline.
Yeah.
Gets weird, man. Especially quantum physics and all, like when that starts getting into it with Ant-Man and all that shit.
Multiverse and all that. Yeah, yeah.
It starts getting kind of weird.
Because my parents, they were into it for the longest, but they've been kind of off of it. I think it's just getting a little too much for them too.
Too many of them.
Yeah, and they're just like, I don't know what they're like. It's
Ant-Man was pretty good though. I really liked that one.
Yeah, his third one was iffy, but
was it? I haven't seen that one yet. I think I just seen the first one and then the Wasp one.
Yeah, those two were good.
Yeah.
The third one,
Multiverse or something like that.
Quantum Mania, yeah.
Yeah.
It got a little weird. The villain was cool, but like he should not have lost to Ant-Man. Yeah. Not to sound like a big old dork right now.
It's kind of cool though that movie, like talking about the quantum physics and all that shit. It's been a long time since I actually like deep dived into it, but a while back, like when I had my first podcast with a couple buddies of mine, Purple Pill. Go check it out. Video, audio still up on Spotify and YouTube.
Pill, purple pill.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. It was kind of like a thought of the red and blue mixed together.
Yeah.
So you kind of need both sides of perspective in order to see the truth.
Gotcha.
That's kind of how we looked at it. I know there's other meanings for purple pill now. There's like, they've got like the red pill, blue pill. That's not what we were doing. It was more of trying to understand like what life is. Because it's so weird, dude. Like with when you start involving politics and government and Hollywood and fucking it's weird, man.
We stay away from politics on our show. We just do not even touch it. Yeah. And if we do, we're just making some dumbass joke about it. But
that's nice, man. At least you get away. Some people don't want to hear about that shit all the time.
No, and that's what I try to make my podcast is that I want you to come into it with, say you just had just a overwhelming day. You can come in, just relax, rest your mind, put it on pause, whatever, and just laugh, have a good time.
Yeah, not something that's going to be like I don't want over that's like, oh fuck, why are they I just heard about this.
Yeah, like, I don't need critical. You don't need critical thinking when you're coming. Just come, be entertained, have fun with us.
That's cool, man.
Yeah,
and if it's something that you like, that's good too, because you don't want to make your podcast something you're not. You know what I mean? So if that's something that doesn't even interest you to begin with, it's like, why would you want to gear your show towards that just because all the other ones are doing it?
Yeah, because I remember I put out, when I kind of first started it, I put out and I was like, what would you guys want to hear on a podcast? And they gave me all these like philosophical things. I was like, I don't want to talk about that shit. I was like, I want to talk about how I almost got beat up in 6th grade or something. Like, I don't want to talk about no. I'm like, all right, whatever. Yeah, I have my rants here and there, but it's like, it's nothing. Like, I'm just like, I don't want to hear about that.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, you can only take so much like feedback from your audience. It's good to listen to your audience, but then again, at the end of the day, you kind of got to go with what you feel comfortable doing, what gets you into the studio to actually record, make it fun. You know what I mean?
And like once we started like putting out like what we put out, then people are like, oh, we want to see you do this. Talk about this. Like, you guys are pretty bold enough to say that. And we're like, yeah, I mean, we don't care. Yeah. We'll do it. We'll do it all. And
Yeah. So I had that podcast and we talked about quantum physics. And, man, if you ever get some time, you're laying in bed at 3 a.m, wanting some shit to watch on YouTube, look at quantum physics, bro. It's so trippy. Like, and I wish I could go off in a long rant about it, but go listen to the episode because I think the hardest part for me is I consume so much information because I'm listening to so many different podcasts. I have a hard time retaining the shit. It's like I'll retain like little bits and pieces.
I be feeling the smartest when I hear it.
Some stick to me and some don't, which I find weird. I don't know what that is.
You're explaining this is my head.
Yeah, and it's like some of it I'm like, why is this sticking? I don't even need this. Yeah. Why wouldn't this stick? Like
this is me throughout high school. Like, why did I remember that they did something really dumb that rhymed, but I can't remember anything else that's going to help me?
Exactly, dude. And it's a pain in the ass sometimes, dude. And so I would be listening to so much of this shit. But it's actually crazy. I wish like I said, I could go out, but listen to that. It's pretty cool. But check it out, how some of those Marvel movies relate a lot to some weird, like, kind of conspiracy type shit. You know what I mean? Like,
for sure.
I mean, quantum physics is not conspiracy, but some of it just kind of Easter eggs and stuff like that. They put in there. It's kind of cool.
They get. I like when they do all those little deep dives and stuff. It gets cool.
Yeah, I think Hollywood's always kind of been guilty of kind of putting stuff in their movies. Like
for sure.
Weird shit.
We were just talking about we had an episode. I think it was we were talking about the exorcism, and then we were talking about like all the crazy stuff they used to do back in the Hollywood movies. And Brock told us about how the Exorcist girl, like, she broke her back filming in the movie. And like, they kept it in when she like broke it, and like she was screaming, and they were like, okay, that's what we needed. And I was like, it's just like, and then we started talking about like the Wizard of Oz, like all the dark stuff that happened with that movie.
Like the little guy hanging himself.
Yeah, we talked about that, and then we talked about like how they had like asbestos was the snow and all that. And
really?
It was all kinds of weird stuff going on.
Yeah, asbestos used to be bad. It used to actually be in insulation, I'm pretty sure. Like in
older
homes. It used to be in a lot of stuff.
I've been in enough abandoned buildings in my day to kind of figure out what that stuff is now.
It's not good for you. That and lead paint.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's crazy. So, but yeah, dude. So you started your podcast. You kind of, you said 2021, kind of.
Yeah, 21. Yeah.
Yeah. How was that? Just kind of just making your way up, just shooting videos here and there,
and it was, my whole thing was just like consistency. It's
hard.
That's it. So hard. And we had our times where we'd go a couple weeks without putting them out, a couple months, whichever. But I was just like, everything in my head, I was like, I'm gonna keep going back. I was like, I got more stories now. Other shit happened to me. I got whatever. So we just kept doing that. And then we were building a good following, and I had a group, and then our editor bailed on us, and we were like, like none of us know how to edit.
That sucks.
And that just put us like in a slump.
Just got too much time.
Yeah. And it just like, and I was honestly being lazy about it too. And then I just was out this bar called Eagle's Nest, and I was walking around, and I seen Eastside. They were filming the Modcast there. It's another podcast. And I was
Eagle's Nest. What is this? Where's that at?
It's in Argentine. It's like kind of by the railroad. It's kind of hidden. Has like a little softball,
like a little dive
field.
Bar.
Yeah, like a members only place or something.
Oh, really?
I don't know why I was there. But I it's not like I could have got into, but I was there, and I was walking around, and I saw them filming, and I was just like, yo, are they doing a podcast right now? Yeah. So I was just like, they said, because when we all talk about it, they're like, I just remember one dude walking around. They're like, and it was you. That's what they always tell me. They're like, you just stood there and looking like a creep. I just
staring at him.
I'm pretty sure if you go and find that video, you can just see me just kind of standing there. I was also a little tipsy too when I did that. And then
probably lost in thought looking at all their equipment and shit, but everyone's like, what the fuck's this weirdo looking at?
Yeah, I was just like, damn. I was like, this looks cool. And then I just I talked to him, I was like, hey, who runs this? And then that's when the dude Eastside came up to me, and he was like, yeah. And then we just started talking. He's like, come in next week. He's like, we have a meeting and whatever. And I like kind of showed him my podcast and stuff, and just took off from there. And that's now working with them.
Yeah, they have a pretty cool thing going on, man. I see a lot of their podcasts they have. It's pretty neat. They kind of take away the editing and all the stuff you have to worry about, staging, setting up equipment. I mean, people don't understand. Like, yeah, you can go and sit in your room and throw a mic on, hook it up to your laptop, and do a podcast. For sure, you can. But to have like an actual studio, to have actual better equipment for better audio, better video. I mean, video's
it's definitely a confidence booster for sure.
Yeah, video's a motherfucker, and it takes the stress off of you. So when you go in, all you have to worry about is, hey, I just got to talk.
No, literally, I walk in, and they hate when I walk in because I'm a dick about it. And I walk in, I'm like, all right, talent's here. I was like, get my shit going.
Is everything ready?
Yeah, I was like, I need my water now. And Eastside's always like, shut the fuck up. Sit down, dude. I'm like, I'm just saying. I was like, daddy's here. Let's get it going. And they're always quick to humble my ass.
That's funny, man.
Yeah, we have fun.
That's good to have a relationship like that, though.
Oh, yeah,
you know what I mean?
Sure.
It's not weird when you come in. That's nice.
No, we're probably... I mean, he's close. He's made a good relationship pretty much with everyone who does the podcast. The I-70, John, he's good. Honesty or Modcast, like all of them, and all the other ones he has going on. and it seems like everyone has respect for him. You know, everyone knows dude's doing his hardest, doing his best.
Yeah,
you know,
I like the locations that he's picking. He has a nice setup. You know,
for sure. Yeah.
His buddy Mark is really good. You know,
Mark. Yeah. I love Mark. I'll say good things about him right now. I was like,
but deep down,
it's on site. Oh, shit. We're fighting on site. Me and him go at it too much.
He's got a funny podcast too. I've seen.
Yeah, him and his dad. Yeah, we were.
I kind of went on a deep dive of you guys because like I've followed Esai's podcast because he started his podcast around the same time I started Purple Pill, and I remember I was looking for like a local podcast around the area, just kind of get like I was kind of saying the community aspect, you know what I mean? Like kind of seeing what they're doing. It was never competition. I'm not here to compete with anybody. I'm here to just talk and give a platform for people to come on, talk about whatever you want, you know what I mean? And build relationships, because that's the whole reason why I made this podcast. To bring about is the whole title is like to bring about like different emotions, to bring about friendships, bring about different views on how like how you see stuff, and to see into people's lives, because I don't believe that you have to have a blue check mark to be interesting at all.
Dude, there's a lot of, I've found out just doing some stuff, there's a lot of boring people with blue check marks.
Exactly.
Or
they come on and they're still acting. You know what I mean? It's like weird. It's like just talk, you know?
And a lot of those people, like, we used to have a thing where like we'd shoot for like 1,000 followers or more. Mm-hmm. And I said like straight up before, I was like, a lot of those people are just either just really good looking, or they had some clout from back in the day,
or they knew somebody.
Yeah, and that's about it.
A lot of how that game works is somebody, they get you in.
That's it. And then you talk to them, most boring person you ever met. I've met so many people like, not on my podcast, but like I've met people like that.
Or you've listened, I'm sure, to some podcasts. Because even like big ones like Joe Rogan, he's had some blue check marks on, and I'm like, are they still in character? Like, what the fuck is going on here, dude? Like, it's kind of odd.
Some people can't get out of it. It's just it's their whole thing now.
I think once you do it for so long, it becomes a part of your identity, and it's hard to like look at. I mean, I like the guy. I don't know him, but fucking Edward Scissorhands. What's his fucking name?
Oh, Johnny Depp.
Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm blanking a lot today. I'm running on 4 hours of sleep today, so bear with me. He is always like kind of in character. It's kind of weird.
Do you
think that's his actual personality? Or do you think he's been in movies since he was a kid? So it's just, he's kind of developed into that.
I mean, when he has been in movies since, I feel like when you're in that lifestyle for so long, that's definitely like, that's just who you become now. Yeah. You just have to become that. You become a character of yourself, right, in a sense. And it's like,
it's hard to break.
Yeah. And it's because you got to keep up with that status or keep up with whatever.
And I've heard of some actors even saying that it's hard for them to let go of that character.
Oh,
like
for sure.
it's funny, like this one show I used to watch a long time ago called Sons of Anarchy. One of the guys, I'm so bad with names, I'm sorry guys, but the blonde main character in the show, he said like he was emotional when he let that character go because he was played him for like 8 years.
Oh, I bet.
I'm like, yeah, I guess so. I mean, you're filming probably 6 months out of the year, and you got to stay in character off.
That's a lot of those people who like the method actors. Them people, I'm just like, I don't know, because I watched a thing with like Samuel Jackson. They're like, do you do method acting? He's like, hell no. He's like, I just do the character, get it done. He's like, no need to be a dick to everyone else. Like,
method acting, like is that kind of like where you're staying character even offset,
and you have people tell you or call you by your character's name and shit like that.
Kind of like who did they say was like that? Jared Leto.
Yeah, that's exactly.
They said he was weird, putting like rats on dead rats
for being Joker, and then he sucked as Joker. Yeah.
Hey, but he was he was into the part. Like you could see it on the film.
Oh, for sure. But it was just,
or like even the other Joker, the actual movie
Joaquin
Joker, Joaquin Phoenix.
That dude's a fucking animal.
Dude, I know he lost all that weight too. Or like even Christian Bale.
Need that mind. I need to do acting more so I can lose that weight. So I can like get into that zone. If that's how I can lose this weight, then I'm gonna start acting.
You can. You gotta create like a goal, okay? And I know it sounds, I'm sure you've heard this 1,000 times, but you can do it, but you have to get rid of everything else.
See,
people are like, oh no, just take it. No, I'm not saying dive into it, start working out 6 days a week. That's not what I'm saying. No. You're going to burn yourself out. Create a goal. Hey, I want to work out 3 days a week. Okay, I'm going to do an all body, something, it's light. So you're not feeling all crazy sore the next day. That's what people do. People will go and they'll do some extreme ass workout and 2 hours in a day. And it's like, brother.
Luckily, I have a brother who's a physical therapist.
Oh, really?
So he's like, and he works all the time because I just started working out again. But even I know, like, never just to dive into something quick. That's like that's like, I think of it in a sense of like you're an addict and you give up and you're giving up something. You can't just always cold turkey it. Right. You know what I mean? So I always, like, yesterday I was taking it like I started doing like weights and stuff again, but I was only doing like the 10-pound stuff. And like, I was keeping it so light because I was like, I'm not going to go in there thinking I could do what I used to do back in the day when I kind of worked out. Yeah. But like, I don't go in that. And my brother, like, cause he's helping me considering I was in a wreck at the beginning of the year. So I am trying to like get myself back strength and all that stuff. So
you get pretty fucked up.
Oh, I got
whiplash.
Oh, I broken bones, all kinds of stuff.
What happened?
I got T-boned.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, and then I've gotten T-boned before. Never that bad.
Yeah, I've had a broken pelvis, like 6 places.
What year was that?
This year.
Oh shit!
Yeah, I've had a wild year. Yeah.
What, at the beginning of the year?
Yeah, beginning of the year.
How long did it take to recover from that? A broken pelvis. What the hell?
It's like do? In 6 places, so on each side, basically.
And there's nothing you can do. That's just gotta naturally
luckily
heal.
It wasn't like too bad of breaks, but yeah, I had to just basically heal from that. So I could barely walk. So I was on like
in a cane.
I was on a walker. I was in a wheelchair. Then a lot of it was bed resting for like a month, and then I was on a walker. Crazy physical therapy I had to do. I had broken ribs, I had internal bleeding, teeth were broken. I was all messed up. Yeah.
Was the driver drunk or he just didn't see you?
Drunk driver.
Did he keep going? Or was it that bad?
No, he hit me like, I didn't find out till later on, but someone.
Oh, you went unconscious?
Yeah, as soon as I got hit, like I took the whole hit. And I was just like, boom.
On the driver's side? Mm-hmm. Was anybody with you?
Yeah, I had my ex-girlfriend with me and stuff, but
Did she get messed up?
She just had 2 broken ribs and fractured something. Yeah.
That sucks, dude.
Yeah, that was scary. And then
especially ribs every time you breathe.
I know. And my mom, I love my mom. Happy birthday, because I know it's coming up. Right, but dude, she does the worst things possible in like the worst situations, because when I was in the hospital, I was trying to use the restroom and she like picked me up and was helping me, and then she wasn't holding the door and the door slammed on me, and I was like, dude. And then when I got finally out and I was laying there in bed one day, she came and was like kind of helping me, like kind of situate me and move, because I could barely like move that much. Yeah. And she was like, all right, well, good night, and pushes off of my ribs that were broken. I was like, what the fuck, dude? And she's like, oh, fuck my bed. I was like, get off. She's like, fuck, I'm sorry. And I'm like, dude, I was like, are you trying to put me back in the hospital? Broken ribs are no joke.
It happens. Sometimes you forget. I remember one time this guy had broke his arm and I just didn't think of anything of it. I went to shake his hand. And I'm like, oh, my bad, dude. Yeah. You just don't think sometimes.
Yeah, I to be fair, I've done that too. I'll go to dap up somebody. And they're like, what the hell? I'm like,
or somebody would be like, oh, yeah, dude, I broke my shoulder or my arm or something. And then you'll come up and you'll be like, hey, what's up, dude? And I kind of like pat him on the shoulder or something. Oh, my bad.
So honestly, that was probably just karma for the many times I've done that.
Many times. Came back to see you.
Yeah, but
that sucks, dude. Like, and man, what happened with the guy?
I don't know. It's still
pending.
Yeah, but yeah, his car like ended up under my car. That's how hard he hit me.
Damn, dude. But, what time was it? Late at night?
Yeah, late at night. Yeah, it's no fun.
Yeah, that's not fun. That's not good, man. I had a buddy of mine. He a long time ago, man. He was drunk driving, dude, and hit and killed somebody. Oof. You know, and it's so sad.
That's like one of my worst nightmares. Even before then, I was never like a person who drinks and drive. Yeah, I never ever wanted to do that, and
that's good.
Never have, but it's just like, because I've known stories of people, you know, and I'm just like, I never want to do that.
I was very bad at it for a long time, dude, and I'm very lucky that I didn't. I've had some close calls. But I mean, dude, growing up, man, like in my 20s, I completely just like flushed my 20s down the toilet, dude. Like I was 20s, drinking and partying and just.
Hey, I mean, once I hit, I started partying. I don't even know how long ago, but like when I was 21, I mean, I'm 23 now, but like 21, 22, even 20.
23, young.
Yeah. I mean, it was just straight partying. Like as soon as I was 21, as you do, you know, a lot of people, you know. Yeah. But I mean, I was out every weekend. And I was just like, okay, at some point I'm going to not want to do this. And then I slowly stopped after a while. And then this year is honestly.
Any reasons? Just got burnt out or just had some close calls or what? Bad decisions?
Yeah, that. And also I was like, I kept showing up hungover for podcasts. Oh, so yeah. I was just like, I can't do these podcasts hungover.
There you go. Yeah. See, you created a goal. All right. So your goal was, hey, I want to be a podcaster. And then what happened? It reflected on your personal life. So you're like, hey, I can't drink. I can't, do all these things that kind of put me out of that zone.
And then also they said after I stopped, like they said a lot of people that were around me, they're like, even after you got on your wreck though, they're like, you just kind of chilled out in general. Because even like when I got on my wreck, I wasn't on anything. I didn't.
That's a near-death experience.
Yeah, I didn't even drink nothing. I was like fine.
Yeah.
So then I got hit. And then after that, I was just like, I don't really want to go out no more. I mean, I literally was like face to face with death.
Yeah, it kind of makes you value life.
Oh, you know for sure.
It's like I think we get so like in this thing of like where we don't feel gratitude for life and how grateful we are. And I'm just as bad at this, at like understanding like, damn, dude, I woke up and I could breathe today. Like there's some people that didn't wake up. There's kids in the hospital with cancer. Well, adults in there with cancer that are on their deathbed,
I think about that like I've had enough. I mean, my life's still young, but like, I mean, there's probably much more stuff to, sadly I'm going to have to go through.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, just the stuff I've seen now is just like, I'm so grateful. Like the fact that I had to learn how to walk again. I mean, I think about that like every day since then.
Painful.
It's just like, I really been taking a lot of stuff for granted. And that's also what goes into my head with like getting back in the better shape is also like, I don't want to be, when I die, I hope it's from like nothing like from like weight stuff or stuff like that.
Have you always been kind of big on the bigger side, even though you're like younger?
Yeah, I've been a little gumdrop since I was a kid. Yeah, I got really slim there for a little bit in high school because I was doing wrestling.
Oh, nice.
And I did that for all through high school until I got kicked off. Fucking assholes. But they voted me off. But I did that, and I was in like good shape, and then like senior year came, and I was like, I don't really like. I was like, you have to be like top notch to like go somewhere with this. And I was just like, I think I'm gonna just go get Wendy's and then go practice.
I bet you regret that decision.
I do wish with that I took with like wanting to make me like do healthier things, but
wrestling's a badass sport, man. I wish I would have done that in high school because I'm paying for it now. A lot of people that know me know I do jiu-jitsu and.
Okay, I saw all those mats and stuff. I was just like, all right, this dude's a fighter.
Yeah, no. I just do jiu-jitsu. Just a practitioner, man. Hobbyist.
Yeah.
But I do like local competitions and stuff like that. I've done a couple of them. But nah, dude, it's just more of just like a hobby of mine. I think I started, the last guest I had on, James, I started with him at 10 Planet, and I was like 27, I think. Mm-hmm. And did it for a while, and then kind of fell off for a while. Did some stuff. I was in this motorcycle club for a little bit, for like 2-3 years, and then kind of got out of that. Just kind of hung around, did my own thing for a while. I started podcasting, and
so you like to try out a lot of different stuff.
I'm weird like that, man.
I mean, that's good though.
Yeah, I never want to stay the same person.
That's how I am. Is I don't want to stay comfortable. I like if I feel like I'm getting comfortable, which it's not bad, but it's also like I feel like I need to progress more.
If I'm comfortable, I feel like I'm dying.
Yeah,
like I feel like
I don't like staying. I'm like I have to keep going for something. I'm not gonna. I don't want to stay comfortable doing this or whatever. Yeah. Like I need to go for more.
Yeah.
Which it could be a good and bad thing depending on how you take it.
Yeah, I was just getting ready to say that.
How you do it. Yeah, it definitely can. Just definitely be thankful with the stuff you have and you got going. But like if you want more in the sense of trying to better yourself, then by all means, you know. But if you just want it more and more and more, then it's just like, all right.
Yeah, because the problem is that if you're never satisfied, that's a depressing life too. Yeah, just as depressing as it is if you're just content, you know, with everything, because you can't grow. My thing is I'm not. I mean, I've had times where I was like trying to chase millions. Like, I want to be a millionaire. Yeah. Like, I need to be this. I need to be that. Like, I'm not destined to live this normal 8 to 5 life. And as I've gotten older, you know, I've started to see like, well, Gabriel, you kind of sacrificed some things in order to try to achieve all that. Because even when I was younger, dude, I was all over the place, like trying to start this business and work this with this person. And I've had so many doors shut on me, dude. Yeah. So many. And it gets so aggravating after a while. But I mean, at least I can say I tried. You know, but with that, like you said, the good and the bad is that, you know, I wasn't there for some of the memories with, you know, my family, you know, and I wasn't there. I wasn't there for some people I should have been there for. You know what I mean? I kind of was kind of selfish in a way. I didn't feel like I was. I felt like I was trying to go do these things to give my family something better.
It's that you're making these sacrifices for something that could be, and no, that's a tough thing, you know. Look, I mean, right now I'm like in a spot where like I can take risks like that because I mean it's just really me. I mean, I have my family obviously, but like I know I'm single.
If it's just you, man,
I
go
don't
for
got kids, you know what I mean? That's why I'm like, that's why I keep telling myself, and I tell other people when they're like, you know, I want to do this, I'm like, go for it. I'm like, honestly, these are our years to fuck up right now.
Yep.
I was like, I don't,
because you can recover faster.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm not afraid to take a loss. I'm not afraid to like take an L on everything. I'm so used to them. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's just like, you just got to build yourself back up. And
embrace the suck.
Yeah.
You know?
Take the lesson and keep on going. All right. That fucked up. All right. What did I learn from that? All right. Apply it. And that's what I've been doing.
Yeah.
And
get better.
It's I'm definitely taking way more risks now. I'm definitely like, you know, reaching out to more people now, trying to get on doing stuff. Cause I've been someone to hold my own self back. So I'm just like contemplating, thinking about too much on it, and then I'm like, all right, why am I like thinking? I just got to do it. Like if I fail at it, I fail at it, whatever. And like you said, at least I tried it.
At least you tried, dude. Because the worst thing you can do, I listen to a lot of motivational videos like on YouTube. I know people kind of look at them as kind of corny, but when you're kind of in a tough spot and, you know, maybe you don't have a lot of people around you that can give you the motivation you need, I think they're a good way to kind of focus your thoughts. And this one said, it was like, I don't want to be at my deathbed with all these ideas and all of these, like standing around you at your deathbed. You know what I mean? And they're looking at you and they're saying, you could have gave us life, but now we're going to die with you.
That's fucking scary to think about. That's scary to think about now.
And at least if I can give those things life, even if it's only for a flicker of a moment, I tried, you know? And I think one thing I've tried to get better at too is that don't be so hard on yourself. Because, dude, I used to beat myself up. Like, did I try hard enough? This guy's trying harder. Why did it work for him? Why is it not working for me? And it's like, the older I'm getting, and I've been getting a lot more into like stoicism and stuff like that, and trying to calm myself down, not stop myself from being as ambitious and wanting to achieve these goals, but just going, hey, relax, enjoy the present, you know, because it's only here temporarily, you know. And, you know, you keep chasing the future and the future and the future. It's good. It gives you that grind mentality, that whole grind era we're kind of in right now with everybody. Everybody wants to start a business. Everybody wants to do, you know, like, that's cool, but also enjoy the present.
Yeah.
You know? And you're going to be looking back and you're going to be like, fuck, I should have enjoyed that, because now it's either not there or it's different, or, you know.
That's kind of like where I'm at, is that's what I'm like trying to teach myself now, is like, enjoy what you're doing right now, because you never know what's going to go on in the future, but enjoy this part. I'm always been trying to tell myself to like enjoy the struggle more, accept it, embrace it, you know. And like, I just think back to like this year in general. I was thinking about that when I was driving up here. I was like, damn, I really almost died this year, to now I did my first comedy show, hosted one. I got on a radio station. I got to meet all these great musicians that put me on. Like, they had me come do an interview for them recently. I mean, just kind of building my stuff up more. I got, some cool host on, and it's just like living in that moment, enjoying that, but also just like, I don't know how.
No, I get it, man.
Yeah.
And also to understand that even if nothing comes from it, because it's a possibility, my podcast, sure. Your podcast, anybody's podcast, or life in general, you may just be another person walking this earth. You know what I mean? I know we all want to achieve that blue check mark status to where we're somebody. People look up to us. But also remember, there's people around you that already look up to you, even for the small accomplishments. You going on to a radio show, how many people do that? You being able to interview all these cool people, how many people get to do that? How many people get to put their face up on social media and YouTube? It may look like a lot, but really compared to the population, not very many. It takes some heart, some guts to put yourself out there.
I've never really looked at it like that.
Yeah, like you are accomplishing things. But it goes into that bad side of it to where it's never enough. It's never enough. You want this. So what's going to happen? Are you going to get to the point to where you are at that status you want, and then it's not enough again? You know what I mean? And that's scary.
That's what I've always thought about too. Is like, say, I always think like hypotheticals. I'm like,
right.
If you make it, Jake, say you fucking make it. Mm-hmm. What are you going to be happy where you're at? You know what I mean? Are you going to keep wanting more? Because my thing is like, because I want to get into acting and stuff too, and trying that, which we're going to be doing some more stuff on our show.
That's cool.
Soon we're going to be putting out skits.
Oh, nice.
Changing it up, adding more videos and stuff. And, but it's just like, if I were to ever get like that big, I wonder like, am I going to want all that? Am I going to be able to handle stuff like that? Am I going to, it goes through everyone's head.
Embrace it day by day, brother. Yeah, that's all you can do, man. Really, it's honestly. Like, because I've been there, dude, and I've been your age. I think we're about I'll be 32 here in January. So we're almost about 9 years apart.
Oh, you're about my brother's age.
Yeah. Okay. And I've been there, and even now, dude, I still battle shit, but it gets easier the older you get. You kind of calm down a little more, you settle down and you start thinking like, oh shit, I'm in my 30s now. I got to start, let's enjoy this shit, because, I've had a lot of friends who have passed away already, even at a young age of 30, a lot of the times not making the right decisions, you know what I mean? But it could happen. I was listening to one of your guys' podcast, that Strawberry Hill one. And the guy had, I can't remember his name, but he had a guy on there. And I think he said he was diagnosed with cancer at like the age of 30 or something like that. Wow. So, and it was just a mole on his back, I think it was, or something like that. And you never know, dude. It could end, at any time. Or like even that car wreck. I mean, what if it would have been worse? What if he would have been in a fucking semi?
That's what I thought about. And that's what I think about all the time when I'm like, if my mind's kind of running all over the place and I feel like I'm down or I'm feeling whatever, and I'm thinking like, dude, you literally had a like close encounter with death. Mm-hmm. And I did think about that, like when I was in the hospital too. I'm like, just like, you need to just be thankful for everything going on. And I always like, when I feel like, man, I don't have this, I don't have that, I'm like, dude, this can all be gone.
Yeah.
Like a split second.
Literally
all of it can be gone. Mm-hmm. And that honestly humbled me enough to like really put that all in the perspective. Mm-hmm. And like, I also think about like, when my grandpa passed away, I saw him take his last breath. 92 years of life gone in a breath. Yeah. And it's just like, wow. And
life continues right afterwards. It's crazy,
just like,
isn't it?
It's wild. Like maybe some people didn't even think like that, but like, when I was just looking at this, all I thought, I was just like, I don't even know. Like, that's crazy.
It's a person.
Yeah. And it's just like thinking about that stuff is just like, it really makes you think about your own life, think about the stuff you're doing, appreciate things you're doing. Definitely, I had a hard time kind of congratulating myself more and doing all that stuff. And And now I feel like I've gotten way better at it.
Well, it's hard because, you know, the brain wants to kind of eat at you and it wants to kind of tear you down. At the same time, a strong mind can build you up. Your mind can also tear you down.
Oh, I know.
So it's never going to be like, even right now, you know, because I've heard some of your podcasts and I know you've kind of vented about some personal stuff and stuff like that. You've kind of been open about stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
way open.
Yeah. And that's good, man. I mean, if you're comfortable with that, I don't see an issue. You know what I mean? Everybody needs to kind of let it out. You know what I mean? And if you feel comfortable in front of your viewers, you know what I mean? Then that's good, man. You know, I mean, there's so many people that go through shit and I think right now, the mental health in, you know, people is so like underrated type, like not looked at very much. Like it is, but it isn't, because I know we kind of talk about it so much now, you know.
But I feel like we talk about it so much, we still look over it.
For sure. I think a lot of people don't do nothing about it. They just talk and don't do anything about it.
And
it's hard because when you're in that shit cycle, you know, and I'm not perfect at all. I'm not. But I have been less as good as I am now. You know, I have been to where I was drinking, doing a lot of drugs, smoking cigarettes, you know, like just all of it, partying, not feeling good inside, not doing anything, not working out, not doing any type of sports. And I felt like crap, you know, and then wondering why I would talk about it, you know, maybe to friends or just thinking about it to myself. And it was just a reoccurring the conversation. It was like a broken record. You know? And you don't start to stop those conversations. They don't get smaller. I don't think in life that you'll never not have things to talk about. You'll always kind of have something going on. That's just life, dude.
Yeah,
you know, I know a lot of people want to chase this perfect life where they don't feel sad. They just want to feel happy. But I mean, really, I think it's kind of a balance.
Yeah, you need both of them.
Yeah.
You know, you can't just live a life.
Sadness sometimes drives. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I know I've been, dude, through my life, man, the people who know me and the shit I've gone through, man, you know, like, you know, and there's always somebody that's gone through worse for sure. But to me, this is my sad, you know what I mean? And it has drove me. I've tried to harness it and push myself to better myself. I'm going to use this as fuel, you know, because I just don't think if everything was just so happy, so lax, like, then I'd probably be comfortable.
No,
you know, I probably wouldn't do much. And to me, that's kind of boring. You know, it sucks that you kind of have to have the bad to create the good, but it kind of all goes together, you know?
And I totally get that, because like a lot of my saddest moments or like shit that's happened to me have honestly made me like laugh the hardest too.
Yeah.
Like coming from those. And my whole thing is just laughter. It's, you know,
probably a defense mechanism to try to cope with what you're probably going through. Yeah.
Probably, but also it's like in a sense of like that sadness stuff has helped me build on other stuff, made me go after. It's given me like more strength to go after other stuff I want to go after.
Right.
And it's led me to like, I saw a quote that said like, laugh in the places you cried and win in the places you lost and stuff. So basically that's what I'm doing, is now I'm laughing in the places I cried and shit like that. And, you know, doing that now. And that's what I'm saying. It's just, it is a good balance. You need both of them.
Yeah.
You know, for sure. And that's, you know, I do it.
If you, I've been preaching a lot about stoicism to a lot of friends and stuff like that. It's kind of been something I've been into like the last year. There's a book called Meditations. I recommend everybody read that. It's really good. It's kind of like it was Marcus Aurelius's diary, and he just wrote a lot of stuff that he kind of went through in life. And it's kind of crazy to see how relatable it is that long ago to now.
It's
we're talking about gladiator days to now, you know. And there's one thing that he always said. It's like kind of the things you go through, they are sad because you make them sad. It's your perspective on sad. You can choose to look at it as it is what it is. There is no feelings attached to it. You make that situation sad. And it's kind of hard to grasp because you're like, well, you know, there's certain situations where it's like, fuck yeah, that's sad. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, there's probably people out there getting beat, or, you know, kids getting molested, or, you know, something crazy, you know what I mean? Like, or someone getting kidnapped, like that. You can't really look at that and just go, well, I can't look at it in that perspective. I'm talking more of like normal everyday things of life that kind of get people down. You know what I mean? Like the normal, you know, people go through some shit, maybe some childhood stuff, you know, like, you know, they wish they had that, this, that, they wish they could go back and do their life a different way. You know what I mean? Like, and it kind of all fills up and you dwell on it when you get older, but it's already happened. It's in the past. You have to let it go. You have to move on.
And see, that's definitely something I was dealing with and been dealing a lot with this year, is just letting go of certain stuff that's been bothering me. Yeah. And that definitely, I've been taking that. Like, I had a cousin talking to me about something he told me something about like, cause like, I think it was shortly after that wreck, I got in like a breakup too. Yeah. So then after that, I was just like at my lowest. I was just at my lowest. I could barely move, heartbroken, stuck in one spot. Chiefs won the Super Bowl. No one wants to push me in a fucking wheelchair. They go see the damn parade. We would have had good ass seats. No, that's fucked up. Yeah, that's fucked up. I told my brother, I was like, really? You can't like help me out here? He's like, no, it's too fucking cold. You're good. I'm like, whatever, dude. But like, I'm just stuck, you know, and I was stuck there for, I mean, weeks, just fucking just sitting in my own pity. And I'm like, all right. Like, you got to do something. You got to get out. You got to get out of this. You got to start crawling.
You probably see how easy it is to get consumed by it too. Oh, right? I mean, when everything's falling apart.
Literally, I mean, my life was just it all happened out. Literally, that car wreck happened, and everything was like, all right, let's get on him now. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And it broke me down. I was just like, I just could not do it. And then but luckily, I had good people. The podcast, though, I'm telling you, the podcast is what just got me out of it, because that was
therapy for you.
That, and just like it took me out of whatever shitty situation was. Sure. I could go and have fun. Got you out the house. I could go have fun. I could go joke around. I could work with all these people, you know, and that definitely like did so much for me. And then plus I had, you know, some friends too that were there for me and keeping me like. Shout out to Danny. She definitely fucking kept me good too. Great friend, you know, she definitely stayed with me through a lot of that stuff and helped me out. But like going with that, what I was getting at is that like after maybe it was like this summer or something, I was still kind of upset by everything, you know, but I'm still in a better spot. And then my cousin, he was talking to me and we were talking about kind of the same stuff. And he's like, you know, he's like, at some point you just gotta like that stuff that happened. He's like, girl wise, he's like, that stuff that happened. He's like, you just got to learn to move on and let someone else come in. You can't let that stuff bother you. You can't let that. He's like, yeah, be cautious. He's like, but definitely like you got to let that stuff go, or you're never just going to move on. You're going to be stuck doing the same shit, being in the same anger and all that. And I'm just like, damn. I was like, damn, how did you know I needed that right now? I'm like...
Yeah, especially with people, man. You know, people can hurt us very bad. Oh, I'm sure that heartbreak felt worse than the car wreck.
Oh, my God, yeah.
But if you start... timing. If you start looking at it at a point of nothing is truly yours in life. Everything has to be given back, okay? Even people, you know. Either breakups, death, you know, you can never truly have somebody... to yourself. At some point it goes away and it's just you know. So if you start embracing that and just understanding to love yourself, you came out by yourself, you're going to end up going by yourself. Like, I mean, you have to have that mindset. And that's not saying that you can't love and you can't care for people, because you can, but you can't overdo it. So you can't give. I know everyone wants to talk about, you know, I gave my whole heart to my loved ones. It's like, you got to keep some of that to yourself, bud. Especially nowadays with how hard it is to actually have a relationship, you know, and you gotta be able to keep some of that love for yourself, and your partner should understand that. They should keep some love for themselves, you know.
You can't just, if you're fully just, it's almost like you dedicate all your time to just like that one person. It's like,
you can't.
No. And then see that's what I was like good with too. Is if I'm in a relationship with someone, like for a little bit, you get hooked for a while.
It's
you
new.
know,
Yeah.
But like I always kept in mind, like I got other stuff too. I love and I'm passionate for. I'm like, I'm not gonna give all my time. You know what I mean? I gotta take some time to help build stuff. And if it's a good partner, they're gonna notice that and recognize that and help fucking build.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So, or at least encourage you.
Yeah,
understand.
For sure. Yeah.
Like, oh, I can't be with him on this day because he's doing this.
Because I know dudes out here that are in relationships and that's all they're about.
Yeah.
That's all they do. I'm just like,
well, it's sad because, and I'm not trying to be one to shit on anybody's relationship. Do whatever makes you feel happy.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
But a majority of the times, and statistics show, if everything in your life is about that one person, you're setting yourself up for a fucking heartache, you know, because just as easily as they came in, they can fucking leave, man.
Oh, for
sure. And that's man or woman. You know, you gotta have. There was a quote. I want to say it was by Will Smith, but it's kind of funny now thinking of it. But he was like,
in India.
Yeah. and thinking of his relationship with his wife, which a lot of people talk shit. You know, I find it kind of funny because people talk shit about their relationship, yet probably 90% of relationships are going through the same thing that they are going through.
Yeah, just not publicly.
Yeah, just not publicly.
Not at the Oscars.
Yeah, and
not everyone's pulling Chris Rock into their relationship.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, you'd be surprised, you know, with what happens to people behind closed doors, and especially male wise, a lot of males are quiet about it. So, but it's funny because he said that each person should find happiness within themselves, and then you get with the person, and they find happiness within themselves, and you create or you enjoy each other's happiness together. You know, but I feel a lot of people try to get with a person to find happiness. And that's probably the worst, because what happens if that person leaves?
You know what? And if I'm being real, I feel like I probably did that too. And
everyone does.
I think that's why.
I've been there.
Yeah, I think that's why I probably hate much worse. I think I was a little bit better in a sense about stuff, but like I think that definitely probably hurt more. And then that's a lot of other stuff I've been thinking about and really like realizing like, yo, my dude, you got to be happy with yourself. This person is like, they can only give you so much, you know?
And don't, and no matter how it ends, man, like, you know, I know, and trust me, man, I've been there where you just want to hate that person, you know, but you can't. That shit, there's a book called The Four Agreements. My buddy Ralph told me about it and I read it. Great book. And it talks about how, why would you keep all this inside of you? It's like a poison. Yeah. You're poisoning yourself. The hate you have for somebody else, you think that's hurting them because you hate them. You think at some point, like, I'm not talking to them, fuck them. Like whenever you see them, you know, fuck you.
Yeah.
But really really that poison is eating away at yourself. You know,
no,
I mean, dude,
I feel that
a lot of these cancers and fucking heart attack, all that shit, a lot of built up stress, man.
No, yeah. Oh, fuck yeah. No, definitely. See, and so what was funny is I've never really talked about this that much. Damn, you opened some people up on this podcast. God damn.
I tried.
All right, yeah, but that's awesome. But yeah, so we like broke up the first time, kind of after the wreck, and then maybe we went a couple weeks, just whatever. Not speaking really much, and I did a podcast, and I was still freshly mad. Ooh, and it was our most viewed podcast we had too.
Really?
Yeah,
that's kind of sad.
Yeah,
if you think about it.
Oh my god, it sucked
or people are kind of like going through the same shit. Maybe they needed to hear something.
So what happened was it was my old co-host, and we called it like our heavy therapy session, and me and him just went at it, just and we were just talking shit, doing our thing. And we kind of broke down and got a little serious. And I told him, he was like, why are you upset? And I was like, it's because I'm going through a breakup and shit. And I said something on the lines. I'm like, no, she just made me mad. And I was just like, that's why I feel like I've been an asshole lately. And I was like, I don't hate her. I was like, but I really do not like you right now. Like I said that to the camera, talking about it. I was like, I don't like her. And then I was like, her family's good though. None of that kind of hate. But I was like, I really do not like you. So I shit you not. After we did that podcast, maybe 2 days later, I get a call from her and she's like, "Hey, can we talk? Can we talk some shit out?" And we get back together. And then as we're like, when you get back with someone, you're all kind of happy, lovey-dovey. Yeah. And I was just like,
honeymoon.
Yeah. And I was just like, oh, by the way, I was like, we have a podcast coming out. I was like, or maybe it had already came out or something. But I was like, I may have said a few things about you. I was like, but nothing bad.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, what did you say? And I was just like, it's nothing crazy.
You'll have to watch.
I was like, she's like, well, I got to watch it. And I was like, yeah, for sure. I was just like, but just no, I hadn't seen you in like a couple weeks.
Yeah.
And then she watched it. And she was like texting me as she was watching. She's like, this is bad. This is really bad. Like, she's like, we're cool, but what the fuck? And then she kept using that against me. She's like, remember that time you dissed me on your most highest viewed fucking podcast? I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. I was like, but yeah. Back to that, not letting the anger consume you. That definitely got the best of me on that.
And it's natural, man. Like, it's going to happen in the beginning. The point is to get better and better. It's not over. Like, it's not one day you think about it and then you're fixed. It's almost like exercising, but mentally. So you have to keep doing repetitions.
And that's honestly like the hardest, workout.
You'll start to forget. It's almost like when you forget to go work out, and then a couple of days go by, 2-3 days, then a week goes by, and you're feeling like shit. Well, it's like mentally too. It's like you're reading this stuff and maybe watching this stuff, and you're like, man, I feel good today, and then you stop, and then a couple of days go by, and you feel a little shitty, and then a week goes by, and you feel even more shitty, and you're starting to go back into that hole again, and it's like, what the fuck am I doing? You got to get out. You got to do it. You got to do it again. Hey, and then every year that goes by, you get better and better and better. Even month, better and better and better.
And that's what I've been working on a lot now. Cause like my friend, Esai, the one who does it, he notices shit with me, and he's like, and he keeps it real. He's like, dude, honestly, it's just like, get out there and work out more. He's like, get all that stress out. You can do all that. He's like, it'll help. It'll help so much. And when I have been working out, like, my mind just goes blank. I forget about everything, and I just kind of go. And if I am upset, then I put it into the workout,
Using that sadness and that frustration as fuel. What we talked about earlier.
Yeah, definitely. And that's, like I said, like, a lot of my sadness has brought it has brought some worse shit out of me, but it definitely has brought...
It's all a learning experience, man.
Some of the best shit out of me, And... not to act like I know everything, but I'm just saying, like, this whole year is definitely, like, it has showed me a lot of shit that I needed to, like, see.
And you'll keep learning, man. I mean, I'll be 32 and I'm still learning. I don't think you ever stop.
No.
And
I don't, and my thing is, people are like, I want to know what the meaning of life is. I was like, you probably won't ever find it out, maybe until you're on your deathbed.
I don't think
I
don't think anybody knows the meaning. I mean,
I have this thing. It's like, I feel
people
like
have ideas.
Yeah. I feel like once you die and you're at heaven's gate, and he's like, what did you learn?
Yeah.
And that's when you, like, tell him. And maybe that's the meaning. I don't know.
Yeah, depending on however your religious views or exactly. It just depends on the person, and it's kind of hard to kind of sum up, oh yeah, this is what life is, because I mean, we don't know, man. The only thing you can do is just, if you feel good, keep doing that.
I feel like life is just an experience.
Yeah.
It's just
keep doing that, and it's a short ride, man.
Yeah.
So enjoy it, and that's that's good that Esai was telling you to work out. I preach this to everybody, man. I think that's the best thing you can do, is just to get somehow physically active. Man, woman, doesn't matter. Children, you should be doing something. When you're sitting there and all you're doing is on that fucking phone, nothing good is coming back.
It is the worst shit in the world. Like,
and we're all guilty of it.
Oh, for sure.
I've been on fucking shorts, just scrolling through a store. You know what I mean?
It's just, there's so much crappy things. Like, everyone puts their problems out on there.
It's that quick dopamine hit too. Yeah. Every time you hit it, boom, 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 and you don't realize it.
Yeah, like I'll get on TikTok, and TikTok knows when to send you sad shit at night.
Oh yeah.
I'll be on TikTok.
Catches.
Yeah, they're like, hey,
it's either sad shit or ass.
They're like, it's time for you. It's time for you to get depressed, buddy. Remember that girl you've been getting over? Yeah. Boom. Like, oh, you didn't have to hit me with that quote right now.
Yeah.
Sad music.
Or sometimes they're like, damn, I needed that.
Yeah, what I mean? But it's so weird. It's like it makes me realize how much social media is like controls your fucking attitude.
Yeah.
Like,
it's almost a part of us now. We're almost kind of like a robot.
And this is coming from someone who fucking has to live off of social media right now just to get his stuff going. But it's like,
it's good and bad.
Yeah.
I mean, let's just be real about it. It's a good thing, as in like you have a cool podcast that people can share and laugh to and have fun. But then it's also can be bad to where you're seeing shit that's just too much, man. Like you don't need to know what everybody's doing at every moment. You don't need, and it's cool to share stuff. I'm not saying you can't share. I share stuff, you know, but it can hurt you because at some point you can be like, damn, why don't I have this? And why don't I have that? That dude's got a Ferrari. That dude doesn't, he's a Monday and he's playing golf at 8 a.m., you know, like, well,
I see it bad when it comes to like relationships with people. Yeah. People see these happy things, or people see how someone's doing this with their life, and they're thinking that's when they're jealous. They're like, I should be doing that. And like, it makes them like stray away from like finding their happy. I don't know. It's just
well,
like I've been.
Facebook is not the greatest place to go and look for that.
You want to see some wild shit? Go to Twitter. That's where the crazy shit's at.
Twitter is fucking wild. But everybody puts good things on Facebook. You got to remember that. Yeah, no one puts the bad. So it's kind of unrealistic.
Well, a lot of my Facebook's ghetto. So
treat it like a diary.
I see a lot of shit. Someone was fine with their baby mama, and then I'm like, oh damn, why'd they get their kids taken away? Like, damn, hold on, let's get
but that's also not good either, and we're all guilty of it. But
for sure,
you see that negative shit all the time, dude. I mean, it kind of just like that reality TV that all these chicks watch, some of these dudes watch. I mean, hey man, I'm not gonna tell you not to, but I'm gonna tell you this. It's not good for you. It's not, dude. I have tried to explain that to people that I care about that consume so much of that shit. And I'm not saying they can't. What I'm saying is that when you watch all these females trying to beat each other up and cussing each other out, and this person's cheating on this person, this person's cheating on that person, it becomes normalized as if it's okay.
Yeah.
And then you don't see though that you're gravitating to it. So, and even in your friendships, you're listening to your friends that you want to hear about this. It's like that's just a lure to it. It's weird, man.
And that's what I see with a lot of people like my age is they do a lot of shitty things. Mm-hmm. And I'm not to say that I haven't either. I have my fair share of dumb, shitty things. We all do, but it just seems so normal. Like, everyone, like how people say, like, for example, like, oh well, everyone cheats once. I'm just like, that should not be normal. Like, or everyone's like, everyone does this and everyone does that. I'm just like, is that really like how we see this all? I'm like, I don't know if I can do all this, but I don't know. A lot of stuff how I treat it is like, just watch it. Don't really take too much into it. Unless it's like, it's like for educational purposes. But if you usually can tell when it's some ghetto shit or some like,
well, remember this too,
shit.
man, is that whatever is on Facebook or social media, YouTube, whatever it is, the Andrew Tates all the way to the freaking Adam 22s, all right, their mindset on relationships is going to be completely different, okay? Mm-hmm. But that doesn't mean that just because they have this many followers that they're right, Yeah. It's all in your perspective. Do what makes you feel happy. Who gives a fuck what other people think? You know what I mean? Even the whole, like, how a relationship should be. I'm not saying people should cheat. You shouldn't. It's fucking wrong.
Yeah, for sure.
But do whatever it is in your relationship. If you guys can work things out, if you can't, whatever makes you happy, man. Don't go based off of this person told me I should do this.
Yeah, everyone does it.
Yeah. Or this person told me I should do. It's like we're trying to let other people live our lives, and it's good to listen to some of those people. Andrew Tate has great fucking quotes, great things that he's talked about. There's some things I haven't agreed with. I don't think you're ever going to be able to find somebody you 100% agree with.
And if you do 100% agree with them, you're like, all right,
that's a little suspicious.
Yeah, you can't fully. I'm like that too. Yeah,
and it's like, just do whatever makes you feel happy. If fucking Adam 22 doesn't mind his chick getting railed in fucking porno videos, go for it, man.
By the way, it was a good video. I may have seen it, but
I heard it generate a lot of money.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, for sure. You're welcome, Adam. But anyway.
We have a subscriber over here. But yeah, man, it's like, the other side of the spectrum, it's like having the Andrew Tate, to where he's like, I have a female and this is what she does and she stays at home and I go and fuck other girls. It's like, If that's what you think, then go for it. If that's what makes you happy.
Crazy world.
Yeah, but don't try to be those. Take little points to what makes it okay in your life.
Yeah.
And just remember, you're not Adam 22 and you're not fucking Andrew Tate. You know, you're a fucking probably normal dude that works at 8 to 5.
Yeah.
So whatever they're telling you is probably not going to correlate with your life. You know what I mean? You kind of got to take it, little points that they have, and try to mend it in to help you as a man or a woman and understand, you know, this is how I want to kind of gear my life towards, but it's not all going to be a plug and play. Mm-hmm. Not at all, you know, but you know, a lot of these people, they just like, I don't know, they just go with it so much. And it's hard, you know, especially at such a younger age. All these kids have access to all this shit and they're still developing. You know what I mean? Even I feel like in high school and stuff like that, you're still growing. And if you have all this stuff telling you should be that way, because let's be honest, some of these kids are getting more parenting from their phones than they are in the house.
Oh, for sure.
So don't be surprised why they're growing up like this.
I mean, even when I grew up, well, I mean, I grew up, you know, I watched a lot of movies and stuff too, because like
same here,
movies and all that stuff is just like my passion. I love it to fucking death.
Yeah.
But like I learned a lot of like I'll be like saying like lessons I thought I learned from my parents, and I'm like, oh fuck, I was like, was that from a movie I was learning? But it's not. See, at least while still I was like growing up, it wasn't as bad with social media and stuff. But now it's like what you said, like they're learned, like it's almost like their phones is teaching them more than
it is
like actual people.
And you know, movies were kind of teaching us as a kid. I mean, shit, even, you know, talking about relationship wise, you know, I grew up thinking that, you know, relationships were like the Beaver Cleaver family, you know, like mom at home, husband at work, you know, and I mean, shit, you know, everyone's all happy-go-lucky. The kids are out there playing, you know, and that's just not how life is.
I grew up with the sense of like, oh, my family's like Friday.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we watch. My mom and dad put me on everything because a lot of the lessons they told me, like even when I was growing up, they're like, all right, Jacob, today's word of the day, J-O-B. Get on it. I'm like, all right. And like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think a lot of my parents, my parents, I think learned a lot of their stuff from movies and shit too.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. And I, you know, I seen, you know, my parents, it wasn't the Beaver Cleaver family, you know, they tried their hardest, but they went through their shit just like I have, just like anybody has. But, you know, as a kid, you like, oh, my life isn't going to be like that. It's going to be like what I see and hear, you know, like I'm going to find this girl and it's just going to be us and we're going to grow up and we're going to have a family. Everything's going to be beautiful.
Some crazy.
You know what I mean? And not everyone thinks like that. You know what I mean? There's some guys that do, some guys that don't, you know what I mean? Or some chicks that do, some chicks that don't. And, but yeah, I mean, you're just, you think that's what it's going to be like. And then you learn a hard fucking lesson. And this is why I'm a big, like, proponent on like, you should always, no matter if your kid is gone and out the house, no matter what age he or she is, you should still be parenting them. Because I hear so many of these parents like, when they hit 18, oh, thank God, my job's done. Blah, blah. No, motherfucker, your job's just getting started. Yeah, like that kid's...
This is where like the most critical.
Yeah, their 20s, their 30s. Like, dude, they need to know... They need a life guide, not when it happens, then go, oh, yeah, I'll talk to you. No, try to hit them before it fucking happens. And I'm not saying that, you know, they're going to listen. I've been a knucklehead, you know what I mean? I ain't listen on some shit.
Oh,
but,
for sure, yeah.
You know, but you should still, as a parent, keep pushing it in their head. Like, even with my daughter, there's so many times where she's like, Dad, do we have to talk about this again? It's like, yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I try to find a balance so I'm not overwhelming her, because I have done that in the past where I'm just too much life lessons. But, dude, I don't care about money with her. I don't care about her, what job she has. Well, I don't give a fuck. I just want her to be happy.
Just have a good mindset.
Yeah, she's going to go through life and be sad. It's going to happen. But if I can make her more happy than how I felt, I've been done good as a father.
Like, know how to handle the situations that are thrown to you.
Because there's gonna be some speed bumps in the road, man. It ain't perfect.
Yeah, I mean, like my parents, they do that with me all the time, you know. And I don't. There's a lot of times where I ignore them too, which sometimes I'm like, damn, I really should have listened to them on that.
Mm-hmm.
And but I mean, yeah,
Same
with
here.
the stop parenting and all that, nah, because I still look for my parents for guidance all the fucking time.
Yeah.
So I mean, and I wouldn't be who I am today without them.
They still pretty involved in your life.
Oh,
that's
for
good, dude.
sure.
That's
for
good.
sure.
A lot of people don't have that, man.
Yeah,
they don't.
I know. Well, I say, I mean,
and that's why they're on Facebook fucking venting.
Yeah, I've been in the club many times where I'm like, oh, I know that girl's daddy ain't in her life, and then I'm like, I'm like, you know,
or he is, and he's just not present.
You know what I mean? You know, and I'm just like, I'll see just like how people act, and I'm just like, why do y'all act like that? Like I've hung around people, and they do shit or say shit or act a certain way, and I'm just like, what the fuck? And then like I may meet their family or something, and I'm just like, oh, yeah, okay. I was like, y'all
apple don't fall far from the tree.
Yeah, I was like, y'all just be fucking wildin', huh? Yeah. I was like, but I've also seen people with parents who are not always the best, but that kid is totally different, and they're like good, like someone I
very rare. But
but it is very rare, but I have seen it, and I'm just like, well,
some people will. I got a buddy of mine. His father is a fucking alcoholic, bad. He's got like fucking 12 DUIs, like fucking. I don't even know how you can get that.
Send a record.
Yeah, I know. I mean, Missouri must be pretty lax on that shit.
Got Brady numbers.
Yeah, dude, it's fucking insane. And he's never been a drinker, and I think it's because of that.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people that.
Yeah, my father was that way too. Like his father was a fucking alcoholic. Just, I mean, not very great person. You know, I'm sure he maybe was at times, but I never seen great qualities growing up. But he went the opposite way, you know, and he still had, you know, you always kind of carry around some characteristics from your father, you know what I mean? Like I have, I'm sure he has, you know, like you got to kind of grow and weed those out. But one thing he didn't do is he didn't drink, you know, and some people are like that. Those rare people to where like they don't follow the same path.
So they mature at such a young age, and like they just kind of.
But some people don't. You know, I know some people that have their father was an alcoholic. They're an alcoholic. You know, I had a big drinking problem in my 20s. You know, I just it's something in me. You know what I mean? Like
I took drinking off this whole month.
Yeah.
But technically, although next week's Thanksgiving, I might
pick it back up.
Well, because my whole thing was like I don't really, because I was drinking like almost every weekend for the past like couple months. I always had a drink in my hand. Just on the weekends. It was nothing like during the weekdays and stuff. But then it started slowly leaking more into the weekdays. But then I was just like, I need to take a break for a minute. Mm-hmm. So I've been taking a month off. And technically I had like already 3 months. Every year I try to take a month off or something just from drinking, just to kind of.
Everything's good in moderation, man.
Yeah, for sure. And I was like, but I did already have like 3 months off this year. So I was just like, well, I was like, now I'm just doing overtime. I'm going sober. I was like, but it wasn't anything like bad. Like I know when to stop. I know when to,
that's good.
You know, for sure. Cause I mean, I have family members that are alcoholics too. Mm-hmm. And that's what, you know, scares my mom too. She's like, you know, I don't want you to do that.
Yeah. And it runs on both sides of my family.
It might run on both sides of my family too. Then I think about it. But it never, like, I've never had, like, an addictive personality to anything.
Right.
Like, even when I was taking, like, the medicine and drugs and all that stuff for when I was in my wreck, I wanted to get off of them quick.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to, like, rely on them. And so, I don't have
that. Those pills can be addicting, man.
Oh, for sure.
Pretty addicting. I've never had an addictive personality either. I've been pretty fortunate on that. Except for cigarettes. I've always been I don't really anymore, but since I started getting back into jiu-jitsu the last year. But I used to be pretty heavy into that. And it was weird. I was like a heavy smoker when I was younger, like in my early 20s. And, you know, I think I started smoking probably like 15. And so I was pretty like heavily there, like packs, you know. And then when I got into like my mid-20s, I was still, but like kind of towards my late 20s, I started tapering off where I wouldn't smoke at work. I don't smoke at home, you know. But anytime I drank, though, I had to have a cigarette, dude. It was weird.
I got into cigars.
Oh, I like cigars. I still smoke cigars.
But I was never bad or anything,
Mm-hmm.
but I'll smoke them. I maybe have like every month, maybe like 2 cigars a month
good.
or something.
Yeah.
But, my dad and my brother, they like smoking cigars, and they kind of got into it more of like a little hobby thing. I mean, they're not bad with it, but they've definitely.
Yeah, I like going to Outlaws.
Outlaws.
In North Kansas City.
Yeah. They're cool.
They're a good
cool.
place.
I
And they
like
have
them.
a bar now, so it's pretty
Oh,
dope.
really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, the North Kansas City one. The one that used to be by Zona, that one was just like a cigar lounge.
Oh, what am I? I'm tripping. I was just at Outlaws because I just
The North Kansas City?
Yeah, because I just went down there for
It's nice.
open mic.
All the TVs on there.
Yeah.
Oh, they have an open mic down there?
Yeah, they do open mics on Tuesdays, I think.
Oh, really?
Tuesday, yeah, because I went down
there. Does Brock go down there?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I went down there with Brock.
Fuck,
yeah.
Brock should have hit me up on that one. The last bar you kind of took me to was all right, but it wasn't really as popping as much.
Do you go to them or do you?
Yeah, well, I like them. I go to like the Improv and stuff like that. Like
Okay.
I just seen Michael Blackson.
Oh, no
up
shit.
there. Yeah,
that's
it's fucking
dope.
hilarious. I was telling Brock about that. I was like walking in, dude, and being the only not black guy in the fucking room, dude. It's like, what the fuck? And I was up front. I was like,
damn,
yeah.
that sucks,
And it's funny because he didn't say anything about me the whole time, but I was just waiting for like all the white jokes, what I mean? Just waiting for him.
Token white guy.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
It's funny because then if you look at my ID, you're like, what the fuck? My last name's Garcia, and my dad's Mexican, my mom's white, and yeah. But being in that room. I love being at the Improv, dude. It's like real kind of like intimate, setting, But man, you get in that front row. Fuck.
Oh, I know. I don't. If I've gone to any comedy shows, I usually sit in the back.
Well,
I can take a joke.
You can't pick there.
Yeah, true.
At the Improv, they seat you.
So at the comedy club, when I've gone for like open mics, I kind of just sit back and chill. But it's not like I can't take it because I put myself front and center on my show for people to make fun of me.
For sure.
Because honestly, like the best times I've honestly had like the hardest laughs is when they've been about me and someone's like, I have an uncle fucks me up all the time and I laugh the hardest because I'm like, where do you come up with this shit?
I don't mind it when it's to me. It's some of the shit I've seen, dude. And I'm not trying to be like one of those guys that can't take a joke. If you've hung out with any of my buddies, dude, we've said some shit that'll probably get us put in jail. Like, we said some crazy ass shit. That's the type of comedy we like. But some of these comedians, dude, they just go after your significant other just so fucking hard. Not the bitch this, bitch that, saying some crazy. And sometimes them girls ask for it, drunk, acting fucking stupid. I get it. But sometimes they be going hard, dude. I was telling Brock, I was like, man, dude, I've never been put in that situation. But I feel like, if he went that hard on my chick, I'd be like kind of fucking pissed. You know what I mean? Like, but then you kind of got to be like, well, chill out. You're here. You know what I mean? But
I had to know this coming.
Well, sometimes I just kind of wonder. It's like, how much can you hide behind comedy? Like, what's too far?
You can usually, and this is not even with comedy too, but I notice like in general, like when I hear people start on like, if I'm watching someone like start on someone, it's all jokes.
Yeah.
At some point, if it keeps going for a certain length, then it's starting to get personal.
Right.
Some of that shit's starting to leak. Like, they have a problem with that person.
Yeah.
Because I do it too.
Yeah.
Where I'm joking with someone and then they're like being a bitch about it or being a dick or like.
Keep picking.
Yeah, and then I'm just like, all right, well, now you're gonna wish your mom never opened her legs. I'm gonna
start bringing out the big jokes.
My friends hate it. Like if I'm like the worst times is when I'm like losing, either in a game or something, and they're winning. When I'm losing and I know I'm losing, like. I just dig in hard.
Start going straight to the Call of Duty Modern Warfare chat group.
Yeah.
Shit.
Oh, I bring it all out and I piss them off. I get so in their head. Yeah. And they're just like, they're like, shut the fuck, like you look stupid. I'm like, that's fine. I was like, but who's getting mad?
See, I don't mind if it's about me. It's like, it's just sometimes when you're with your person, you know what I mean?
It depends.
It's weird, you know what I mean? Like,
for sure. Because I I'm in a fucky situation because growing up, our whole family, if you come into our family, like relationship with my immediate family and then like my like cousins, all us, we're all very close, if you're bringing your significant other in, like all of us have to warn that person. Like my family, I was like, they're not going to disrespect you. I'm not going to let that happen. Yeah. but jokes.
But they like to bust your balls.
Yeah, jokes are gonna fly, and they're gonna be really fucked up.
Yeah,
I was like, but I'm gonna have your back, you know.
Yeah.
That's
but see, that's different. Not somebody you know. The comedian on the stage, you don't know him, but like you said, you also put yourself there. You bought tickets to go see this person.
But so I'm comparing it to the sense of like you not know, like they don't know who this person is. This is the first time.
Oh,
like,
okay.
Hell, when I first brought my last person around, my mom was like, "Hey, are you legal?" And I was just like, "Oh, that wasn't the question to start with."
That's a good opener.
Yeah, I was just like, "Okay, well, we'll see how this goes." Like shit like that, but like comedian, like my whole family, like I mean, everyone's like, "Oh, my family's like this." But yeah, my whole family is like a bunch of comedians.
Yeah,
like Esai's even told Esai, he's like, "Dude, we need to do a show on your family because they are fucking, they're something else, dude."
About to have a George Lopez show over there.
Like we understand why you are the way you are.
Yeah,
like it all makes sense.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. But I didn't know they did Tuesdays at Outlaws. That's pretty.
Yeah, Outlaw. Yeah, there's this comedian like Facebook page or something, and it's for a lot of comedians trying to do stand-up time, but it also shows you everywhere they're doing like stand-up and stuff like that. So that's what I've been going on. I can't remember the name of the page because at first they didn't let me in.
Oh really? You feel like a questionnaire?
Yeah, I didn't fill it out.
Dude, I hate those, man.
Yeah,
they drive
Brock
me
was
nuts.
like, just fill out the questionnaires.
Yeah.
I was like, I thought I did, and he's like, just do it right. And I was just like, and then I did it, and I was like, I guess I'm just being a dumbass today.
Yeah. What's your guys' plans for your podcast? What do you guys got coming up?
Just doing this show. Jess is gonna be gone for a little bit. Okay. Just because she's got.
Does she still do her other podcast, or is that kind of on hold right now?
That's on hold right now. But yeah, she's got some stuff going on. But we're still gonna have her sending us some stuff to keep her in the loop, like videos of her doing something. But like we're starting skits here soon. Me and Brock have been we just wrote one out this week, and we're gonna write some more. We're kind of just getting some stuff going. Yeah. And then we're gonna film those. And I don't know how we're gonna put them out exactly. We're still kind of figuring that one out, but we know those are coming out. And then we're definitely gonna try to start doing like some interview on the street stuff.
Oh, that's neat. Yeah.
Or like us going to go do reviews of places, or like, just having fun with places.
The dude that cracks me up is that like little Hispanic dude. He'd be like putting a mic up in drunk people's faces, and he'd be he'll be like 1 out of 10 or some shit, and then he'll just throw out some random thing. He's like, "You gonna let me hit?" I'm like, "What the fuck?" Just randomly in the conversation, and she'll be like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, I know what you.
I can't remember that dude's name, but dude, he'd be like, and then like I remember one time he was talking to some chick, and this dude was like, "She's underage, bro," and he's like, "Why is she here at a bar?" Don't worry about that. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what is she even here for then?
Yeah, the homie just incriminated himself.
Yeah, I know. What are you hanging around an underage chick for?
How do you know that? Yeah.
Yeah.
But
he was like, you just like to come out here and I see what they're saying. They like to come out there and just interview drunk people. But I mean, entertainment's entertainment. He's not holding a gun to their head saying you have to do an interview. He's just asking people.
I told Brock, I was like, I definitely want to get you out doing a lot of these too, but I really want to put him in like situations with like where he's like the only white dude there.
Oh yeah.
I was like, I feel like you'll fucking
take him down to Westport on fucking Saturday night at a couple of those bars.
I was like, I want to take you to like every Hispanic event going on and put you in there, and like, or a black
Boulevard
event.
Nights on Saturday.
Yeah, something where I could just put you in there, let them like. I feel like you will blossom with that.
Yeah, that'd be pretty funny.
Yeah, they're both great. They're definitely gonna do some cool shit.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, man. So you guys got that coming up. That's pretty neat. How have you guys been doing with guests wise? Have you guys been having some new guests? Like,
we chilled on having guests on for a while now because we want to like it to be us for a little, build our dynamic way more.
That's a good thing about having multiple hosts. You know, kind of keep that still going. I've thought about like talking into the camera by myself, but I don't know how long that would last. Dude. It's kind of hard.
So I finally, technically, I kind of did an episode by myself, but I mean, Esai and Mark was there, like we're there, but I had no guest.
Was it that one that was like green back in the dark? Yeah, I watched a little bit of that.
That one I went off on a rant, but that one was kind of like the first one I did by myself, which they're cool, but they are a little more challenging for sure.
Yeah,
but
you got to get used to that silence. You know, you just kind of have to get used to that.
See,
you know?
My thing is like, I feel like with those kind though, it always feels like when people do that, they're kind of just giving lessons or life lessons and stuff. Mm-hmm. And I'm not the type of person that like do that.
Right.
I don't like they're giving a message out or something.
Yeah.
And I mean, my messages are like, you know, don't get caught up on OnlyFans too much, or don't,
yeah.
You know, I mean, don't, you know,
yeah,
get your dick out of there, you know, but like just shit like that. Like, I don't really like, do it. Like,
hey man, I mean, advice is advice.
Yeah.
You know, you can't really put a scale on it. You know
I'll tell you what though, man, you just gave me like so much. I'm probably going to be watching this video. Like, all right, hold on. Let me go back. Let me motivate myself. What did he gave me so much shit today.
I try. It's not like I'm trying to, you know what I mean? But
it was good though.
I want to, I like to talk to people who want to listen, you know? Mm-hmm. And that's another reason why I started this podcast, is because I think I've talked. Have you ever talked to people and like you're trying to give them advice? Okay, because they're talking to you, they're telling you their problems. Mm-hmm. You start to tell them, "Hey, this is this. I've been through this," and they just look at you and they go, "All right."
Well, sometimes they just want to, and I know with me, too,
they just want to vent.
They just want to vent, and that's what I've been learning, because I was always that person who'd be like, not trying to like show you up, but just trying to compare stories. Like, I know exactly what you're going through. You should try this. And sometimes I've realized, honestly, you just, for a lot of people, if you're trying to help, is just to sit back and just kind of listen to them.
It's very hard for me.
And it is so hard.
Even
for
in
me,
my relationship, very hard.
Because you want to help, or you know what they're going to need, you know?
Or you're just like, you know, and I can kind of be a hard ass sometimes, because sometimes if I hear it too much, I'm like, what, you gonna keep fucking crying about that? You're gonna fucking do something, because you kind of need that fire in you, dude. I have talked to people about and these are how my friends are, and people can look at it as fucked up or not. It helped me, you know. I have come to some of my friends and been like, hey, yeah, I'm going through this, I feel like this, and I've had them look at me and be like, stop being a bitch. Like, fucking do something about it, dog. Like, what are you just gonna keep crying about it? Shut the fuck up and go do something.
A lot of my friends will be like, just stop being a bitch.
Yeah.
And I'm like, is that it? And they're like, yeah.
But sometimes you need that.
Yeah.
Sometimes you need that, because I have walked away so mad and like, fuck that motherfucker. You know what I mean? But then sit on it for a couple of weeks and you're like, man, you're right. Because sometimes you need to have this perspective outside of your shoes and be like, you know, you're in your shoes, so you don't really see it. You're kind of in this whiny, fucking depressed ass mode, which we all get in. And you got to remember that, you know, I even have a flag in my gym. It says, nobody cares, work harder. And it's true. It's true. You know, nobody gives a fuck, work harder. And I'm not saying you got to be one of those assholes that is just all about you, but you can still have that mindset of nobody fucking cares. Keep going, keep grinding. And that's kind of why, like, I created this, because I wanted people to come on that actually want to conversate. I got tired of conversating with basically NPCs, you know. I feel like
forced conversation.
Yeah, they're just like the fucking little, you know, in Grand Theft Auto, just little fucking computer characters walking around, and I'll try talking to them. They're just,
like, how long you been doing that? I've been doing it for a couple of years.
Yeah, and you know,
and then just that.
Yeah, it's like, so dry.
Fuck,
so dry. You know, and I can go on forever. There's so many times where I get caught up in a conversation for hours, and it's not like I'm intently trying to do it. It's just, when I see problems, I want to help, because I know how fucking shitty sometimes it feels to be in that situation.
And I'm at that point where, cause I'm like that a lot too, where I'm like, I know I can help with that. But sometimes I'm like, maybe I should just kind of chill. And sometimes people got to figure that out on their own. I was like, sometimes the best ways you can figure stuff out is on your own, figuring it out. But it doesn't hurt to always have someone to help, because I know for sure I've asked for help all the time, but sometimes,
whether or not they listen, I can't control that.
Yeah, but I mean, I've kind of gotten to that point where I'm like, I just need to listen more and hear what they're saying before I have an idea of what to give them. You know what I mean? Because sometimes I'll be talking and then it'll somehow switch into my problems. And then I'm like, oh fuck.
Or it'll kind of bring up something that you've kind of been like already thought you dealt with, and now it's starting to come up.
And I'm like, wait, you make a good point.
It's like, damn, now we're both having to work on some shit today.
Oh fuck, hold on, now you got me sad. Damn it.
It's hard. Yeah, and you're right. You know, maybe sometimes you should take a step back. I've been learning that the older I get, step back, just listen, man. You don't always have to give someone life advice, but it can just be hard for me. I think I've always been a guy that wants to fix problems, you know, and for a long time, I always wanted to fix everybody else's problems but mine. And it got me in a bind like that for a while. Now I'm finally starting to back up, but the podcast just helps because it's nice because I can talk to people who are kind of related to me, that we may not like the same things or go through the same things, but we like to conversate, you know, and something beautiful comes out of that, you know, in conversation, you know, and who knows, even if it's only a couple hundred people that watch, somebody may have needed that. And it's cool because it's more relatable because we are down here compared to like if you were to listen to like a Joe Rogan or something that's kind of like out of there.
It's like you can't really like
you can't really relate to them.
It's good. I mean, sometimes I know people who are like, it's good knowing that someone in a crazy better place than me is still going through the same shit. But also, it's good to know people who are in the same place as you are going through the same shit and they're figuring it out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just like, because, you know, those people can tell you, you know, work out and grind and meditate and do all this shit. And you're like, motherfucker, you don't have a job. Like,
I'm like, you don't got all this other shit to balance.
But if I tell you this, and I'm not always right, I understand that. Even advice I give, I know I could be wrong because I have given advice 5 years ago that I don't agree with now. You know, I've changed, I've developed, I've learned.
Advice a couple months ago, I don't even fucking agree with.
You know, and it's good to embrace that. You're not always going to be right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So as long as you can be like, okay, I am accepting to where I can accept it when I need to say I'm wrong. Mm-hmm. Okay, but it's if I tell you advice, if I tell you what I do, at least it's a little more relatable because you're like, oh, dude. This guy works a fucking 9 to 5, you know, which I don't even work a 9 to 5, I work more than that, and he can still do this, and this, you know, and he's not bullshitting me. You know, he's telling me it's hard. He's telling me this is how you do it, you know, stick to it. It's not easy because I'm not going to sugarcoat it and be like, if you do these things, your life's going to be fantastic. Yeah. It's not, it doesn't happen overnight. It takes a while, man. You know, it takes a lot of work, and it's just like working out. Like you want to work out, you're not going to see progress in 6 months, 3 months. You know, you may see a little bit, but not the progress that you're hoping for. 6-pack, big chest, big arms. You know, no. But over 2 years of you dedicating and grinding and exercising and doing that, you will see progress. Same thing mentally. You got to keep doing the same thing. They go hand in hand. It's a balance.
And see, that's what I'm just all trying to. I think I get so overwhelmed with everything. I'm trying to balance the podcast, my mental health, my physical health, and all that stuff. It's kind of like, dude, how can I do all this plus do my job plus get all these bills and shit paid for? Yeah. Like, how the hell am I supposed to balance all this shit? And now I'm starting to. I feel like I'm getting a better place to where I'm figuring it out better. I mean, it's still a struggle.
Well, it's hard. And then also at your age too, man, you know, when I was 23, I mean, I had just bought my first home. Oh, shit. I think I already owned my home at that time.
Well, that's dope.
I think. Yeah. I
bought my first new car.
Yeah. Well, back then, dude, I bought a fucking house for $100,000.
What a life.
You know, and it was a 15-year-old house. It made in the 90s.
Damn.
At the time.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I think it was like late 98, and it was a beautiful home. It needed some TLC, you know, so I had to put some paint and do some landscaping. But I had 1,700 square feet. I only paid $100,000. Like I lived in a nice ass neighborhood in Liberty. Like for your first home,
hell yeah,
you can't find that nowadays, bro.
No.
It's so hard especially in the early 20s when you're not making much money. You're barely starting out. That's why you're seeing a lot of these kids live with their parents, and it's not their fucking fault. It's fucking hard. I used to pay $150 for 2 weeks of groceries. Now I'm paying $350. You know,
that's
gas. Everything's going up. Me and Brock were talking about this on his podcast. Everybody wants you to tip. This whole tipping culture.
Oh my god!
Every fucking where.
I feel like I try to tip. You
can, but why do I have to tip everywhere, man? I mean,
I know.
Even in some weird spots where it's like, I'm picking up my coffee at the fucking bar. What are you talking about?
At the bar is when I'm like, they make it seem like, oh, you're broke if you can't tip your bartender. Mm-hmm. I'm like, motherfucker, I'm coming back like multiple rounds.
Times.
I'm not gonna tip every fucking round.
No.
One time I got to
throw a $5 in there and then come back a couple of times without it.
Me and this girl, I got some drink, and I went and I think I tipped just a little bit or so. I gave them like $1 or $2 or something.
Mm-hmm.
I got 2 drinks. She's like, you weren't gonna tip more? Like you barely tipped them.
Oh, she said that?
Yeah, and I was the girl who I got the drink for.
Okay.
I thought I was like, well, fuck, if you want to tip her, go ahead. I'm like, but I plan on coming back
multiple times.
Yeah, I'm like, the fuck. I was like,
dude, I usually throw.
Drink.
It depends on how many drinks I get, but usually I'll throw like a 5 or a 10. You know, just depending on how many times frequently I'm going to go back. If I'm going to be going back like 10 times, you know,
see, that's what
throw a 10 or 20 in there. You know what I mean? Like, just leave me alone for the rest of the night. You know,
that's what my brother told me. He said he's like, always tip big your first time. He's like, not crazy big, but good enough. He's like, because then the bartender will always come to you
for sure.
There's a shit ton of people, and I was just like, that makes a lot of sense. I was like, I definitely need to start doing that because I haven't done. Yeah. I've done it maybe once or twice, and it's worked, but I'm just like, I'm not gonna do all that. I was like, I'm probably going to another bar. So
yeah, so it's hard, man, especially for your guys' time right now. I mean, shit, it's hard for me at 32. You know, things are getting more expensive and it's getting harder out there. And good luck finding a house for $100,000 nowadays. You know what I mean? Like, you ain't gonna find that anywhere. You know,
it's fucking. So,
is that you live in like an apartment or you?
No, I'm still living with my family.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Look how hard it is, man.
I've been working on getting an apartment.
It's because you're balancing what? I'm gonna go move out into an apartment and pay $1,500 to $2,000 in a month.
And my friend, she's my friend Danny. She said she's like, I'll help you whenever because she just got a new place.
Yeah, but then you got to have a roommate, and that can be hard sometimes.
And I kind of wanna, because they always say like the roommates, those friendships usually like deteriorate. They go bad, sour.
It's just like a relationship. You learn about that person a lot when you move in with them.
And I've seen it with so many people, and I'm like, honestly, I kind of rather want to juggle this by myself. One, because I feel like it'd be good to just do it by myself. Yeah. But I feel more, I don't know. Yeah. I want to be alone too. Yeah. Like I want to chill, do my own thing.
For sure.
You know.
Yeah, so it's hard, man. It weighs on you a lot, man. Like especially at this time you're at right now, because it's like, yeah, you want to be able to move out, but do you want to be house poor? Yeah. You know, you don't want to be stuck paying a fucking mortgage or a rent, you know, and then not be able to do shit.
And plus these fucking car payments are crazy now too. Yeah. Even my car payment, that's what sucked. I had a pretty good, decent, like on my last car, it was good. And after I had to get this new one, I was just like, fuck. I was like, this shit just, but what helped was my credit was fucking awesome.
That's good.
So when I did it, they're like, you know, you can get a new car. Like a new car. And I was just like, that don't sound too bad. Yeah. I was like, because I don't really I don't want a car with a lot of miles on it because I know I drive a lot of places. Yeah. So I was just like, I might as well just get a brand new car because I know I'm going to be doing some driving for sure, using that bitch up.
And you don't want to get stuck. Like, I don't know where you work, but you don't want to get stuck at that job. Oh, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Like, and I mean, I work pretty for a while, I was literally almost every day I was driving a full circle around the city. Yeah. So I live out by the Legends. Uh-huh. I drive all the way to North Kansas City.
That's where you work?
Yeah.
What do you do?
I work at what is it? A hydraulic warehouse. We make hydraulic hoses. Oh, okay. And stuff. Whole assembly line thing. Nice. And then I'd leave there.
Kind of sucks though. Are you stuck on it or is it pretty lax?
Oh, it's relaxing.
Oh, okay. You're not like Ford, like, can I use the restroom?
No. Fuck no. Hell no.
I don't know how those guys work there, dude.
I would never do anything like that. Yeah. No, but like this job is cool because I'm cool with like all the managers and the big bosses and stuff. Yeah. And they all know about my podcast and stuff. So they're like always asking me, oh, how's it going and stuff. So that's cool. If I got like stuff going on, they like understand and all that too. So
that's nice.
So that's definitely what's kept me around a lot more too. But sometimes I'm just like, I need to go try something different now.
Do you plan what are your plans right now for the future, personal wise? Like, are you looking to do something career wise? What interests you?
I mean, honestly, it's like this is all that's ever really excited me was being in the entertainment business, whether it would be acting, comedy, podcasts, whichever. It's just something I can only see myself doing. Like that's my dream that got put in my head basically. And that's what it's one of the toughest things you can get into. Right. One of the hardest things you can get into. But it's what makes me the happiest and it's what, I'd rather bet on myself and do that. But if it fails, it fails, then I'll find whichever job, you know, but I'm going to definitely take the risk and go after this because this is what I want to do.
Yeah. Yeah. You kind of got to put all your marbles in one basket. The only thing that I always tell people, and it's not to like crush dreams or anything, I'm sure it maybe comes off as that when I explain it. We and Brock talked about this too, is that sometimes you got to have a backup though. You know, it's always kind of smart to have a backup.
Which I do.
You know? Like there's NFL players that go to college and they get a degree. You know, they'll finish college or they'll get a degree in something that just in case football doesn't work out.
Yeah.
Because I mean, shit, football, a lot of those guys probably only have like a 6-year career, if that, you know, and they need something to fall back on. And I'm not saying entertainment won't work out for you. It may will. Who knows, you know? But you know, just as I know with my podcast, it's a gamble. You know, you don't know if it's really going to take off. The odds are against you. Have something just in case.
You know, and that's why everyone's told me this, like, always have that thing to rely on. Which I do, you know, and
don't let it consume all of your energy to where you're taking away from your dreams, but maybe look at something like, can I take a couple classes at college, maybe just something small just to get started, maybe get my associate. I don't know if you went to college at all. Maybe I didn't either. Maybe get your associates or something. You know, I'm learning as I get older because I've been such a blue collar guy my whole life. That if you're not about that life, it's a fucking hard life, dude. Like you can get paid good money, but it's fucking hard, long hours, and it's hard.
I know.
But if you want something that kind of gets you a little more access, a little more freeing, better environment, stuff like that, college is kind of the way to go. Which I have been so against it for so long, and I'm not saying college is actually going to make you educated because that's definitely not true. There's some uneducated motherfuckers that come out of college, but it'll give you that stupid piece of paper that you need to get into these careers.
You know, I think about that a lot too. I'm like, you know, I should definitely have a backup, which I do.
Is there anything that you went through high school thinking like, oh, I want to try this out?
I wanted to be a cop for a while, and then I wanted to like
be kind of hard right now with everything that's going on.
Yeah, I know.
Still a good job. I mean, it's I have different views on. I go back and forth on the whole cop thing. Not mainly on cops, more of higher ups that are they're kind of what they're geared towards. You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you're talking about, but I know that whatever I do, if whatever this doesn't work out, it's always going to be something. That if I have to go back to school, then it's going to be something with me learning something with film or doing something where I can apply that, or doing something where I'm always being able to be creative.
Right.
Because I'll be damned if I work blue collar. And there's nothing wrong with working blue collared and stuff. But for me personally, it's not something I want to do the rest of my life. Because
there's nothing wrong with that, man. It's not for everybody.
And I've seen my whole family go through it. Grandpa, uncles, dads, you know, everybody. And I'm just like, at some point, one of us have to break this curse. Who knows? If it's me, if it's someone else, whatever.
And it's not necessarily a curse, but it's hard.
Not a curse, but
it's a hard life.
And it's just like, I see how it treats their bodies.
Yeah.
And it's something,
and
it's just something.
Some of these guys that lay concrete and shit like that.
And it's just like, it's something I don't want to go through, and I just.
It doesn't interest you.
And it doesn't. And I'm just like, you know, it just doesn't. I'm not passionate about. I've had dudes tell me like, you need to be passionate about this job. You need to do something. I'm like, I'm not. I was like, this is this.
I'm in the same boat.
I was like, this is just what's getting my bills paid. I was like, I'm not. You're not. You can't make me passionate about this stuff. I will never be passionate about.
And there's nothing wrong with you if you're just showing up there 9 to 5, getting your paycheck. There's not. That's what you're paid to do.
Exactly.
You're not paid to be fucking. I love it here. Let's do better. Like that's not your fucking job.
And I've had a lot of dudes tell me. Like I had a dude at my job tell me recently. He's like, you need to stop worrying about that stuff and be more worried about this stuff. He's like, because this is the stuff. He's like, are you getting paid from that stuff? I was like, I have. I was like, but I mean, not all the time. He's like, well, you get paid here. I'm like, it doesn't matter. I was like, I don't plan on being here that long.
Sometimes money doesn't bring happiness, man.
Exactly. And honestly, if I can be making shit money, but as long as I'm happy doing it, I don't.
That is one thing I will attest to, because when I was, you know, in my 20s, I chased a dollar, man. I chased it and I chased it, and it's gotten me into a career I'm in now, and I get paid pretty decent. Sucks where times are going, because even at the pay scale I'm at, I should be doing great right now. You know, I should be doing great. You know, I shouldn't have to have my wife working. I shouldn't, you know, I should be able to do a lot more things than I'm able to do. But with everything increasing so much in price, you know, what I get paid now is nothing anymore. You know what I mean? That's the sad part.
It
you
sucks,
know?
you know?
Yeah, you know, and it's crazy. You know, $30, $35, $40 an hour used to be a lot back in the day. Now it's not, you know?
And I just recently heard this quote from Jim Carrey, and it says he talks about how his father could have been like a great comedian and all this stuff, but he made a conservative choice and went with being an accountant or whatever, the safe job route and all that. And then his dad got laid off from that job, and then they had to like do whatever they could to survive. And he's like, my dad failed at the safe choice job. He's like, so why not take the risk and fail? If you fail at the other one, at least you know you took that risk and stuff like that. And I was just like, damn, I was like, that's what I need.
Yeah,
like,
it's sad, man. When you get older, you see how life can be very sad.
Oh, and I'm seeing, you know, my dad worked at a place where he got laid off too and stuff. And I was just like, wow, fuck. I was like, I mean, it can happen to anyone, but
that's why I stopped like giving it my all into these, and I do my job.
Yeah,
you know? I always do my job. I always tell them, I'll do my job 100%. You give me 100% of my paycheck, always. And but I remember a guy I used to work at Outback Steakhouse when I was like 16.
Oh, I love that's my favorite place.
Really? I fucking went there like a couple months ago.
They've kind of fallen off a little bit.
Fallen off a lot. Dude.
Which one? Zona Rosa?
Zona Rosa.
Yeah, that one's been a little.
Is there another one?
Oak Park.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm more of a Texas Roadhouse guy.
That's fire too. I just had Goja, or not Goja's, I'm sorry. Fogo de Chao.
Oh, Fogo de Chao.
I got it for free.
Over there in Plaza.
Yeah, we got it for free too.
Really?
Oh my god,
that's an expensive spot too.
Yeah, and I was
just kept that card on green the whole time.
Yeah, because my friend, it was his first time there, and he was like, "Well, how's this go?" I was like, "Just flip that baby around, you'll see what happens." And he's like, "Oh my god," he's like, "I can't believe I got this shit for free." I was like, "I know."
Yeah, I haven't been there in a while. I didn't even know they were still open. To be honest with you. I thought they had closed down for a while. But
you said your friend was working at Outback.
Oh yeah. I was like, where was I going with that?
Yeah. My bad. Sorry. Steak gets me going.
This is how this podcast is, man. You know, and everyone who watches this knows, you know, like we're kind of all over the place.
Speaking of which, how long do you usually go on these podcasts?
Whenever.
Okay,
whenever
cool,
you feel like. Whenever you're like, hey man, I gotta go.
No. I don't even know what time it is.
What time is it? 8:18.
Oh, nice. I've been having fun.
Yeah. No, we can wrap it up whenever you want.
No, I'm joining it.
Okay.
Let's keep going.
But he told me this one time. He was like, what was I doing? He was an older dude. He was a server, and he was probably like in his 40s. And he was like, Gabriel, he was like, go live life. He's like, because this place, just as much as they make you feel like you're everything and blah, 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 he's like, you could quit or you could get fired and that place will still be open without you. You're not something to these companies, you know. Go do what you love. And I wish I would have at that age really understood that.
Yeah, I heard it.
Yeah, and really took that in because I didn't. I was a fucking idiot when I was that age. I was an idiot fucking. I probably didn't start actually discovering shit until like the last like maybe 6-7 years. And like discovering myself and I
mean, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Just, you know, everyone starts. I mean, it. You know, I hear about people finding out this stuff late in their life.
Yeah, 50s, 60s. Some people. Yeah, that sucks, man. You know?
It does,
but at least they realize it.
Yeah, and
you know?
everyone's gonna go through that.
At least they finally see, like, oh, I can change, and they make the efforts to, even at that age. But I just. You know, I've got a brother, Adriano. I've talked about him multiple times, and it's crazy because he's younger than me, but I look up to him so much with how disciplined he is. And he's only he just turned 20. His birthday was just a couple of days ago.
Oh, nice.
And that dude, I mean, just stays out of trouble. Just like, you know. Always working out, always doing sports, always upping his knowledge on politics and history. And I actually hope to have him on here. He's finally coming back from college. He'll be on break just to talk to him. And he's such just kind of a very a free thinker. Like he doesn't get bound down by people and told to be this way.
Yeah.
And I wish I would have been like that at that age. And I used to beat myself up about that, but you can't, you know, because then you'll just keep repeating the cycle. You just got to go, man, that was me, blah, blah. But if I would have, and if there's any young people watching this right now, it's like, you need to start now. Like, and you can still enjoy your life, but start figuring out shit that you want to do. Start finding passion, start finding, maybe a career you want to pursue. And with this in our hands, there should be no reason why we can't figure it out.
And that's kind of where I just got in my life, is that, I mean, I'm glad I'm like seeing it now. I still struggle with it. I'm still lazy about stuff for sure.
We all can get in that mode.
But I've definitely gotten way better with it. I mean, this podcast is probably the most consistent thing I've really done. Like, that's just been bettering me more. But like, I just started after, like, when I started it up too, it's just like, because I'm putting like, I'm so in love with doing this stuff. It's just like, it's the only thing I can see me doing. And then Isai kind of gave me a confidence booster too. He's like, honestly, dude, he's like, not to like glaze you right now. He's like, but he's like, this is like, I can't see you doing anything else.
Yeah.
He's like, you like were made to be behind the camera or in front of the camera. He's like, but don't like, he's like, don't like get your, like, don't go crazy about that and be all cocky, you asshole. And I was just like, oh yeah, for sure, yeah. But like,
where's my coffee?
Yeah, like, I don't know. Get back to it. Get my shit together. But it's just like I just got to a point where I was just like, what am I doing? What do I want? I was like, because I'm over here at work imagining another life. But what am I doing to try to get to that life? What am I doing other than just trying to
started your podcast?
Yeah, just trying to survive a fucking.
You've made steps.
Yeah,
there's some people that just dream on a podcast, or they'll dream about a career, or they'll dream about being an actor or a comedian or whatever, like, athlete, and they don't do anything about it. At least you took the steps to start.
And see, and that's the same one. Like, and I need to start really fucking getting myself more and more with doing the stand up more too. Because, I mean, there was times where I was dreaming, man, well, I wonder what it'd be like doing stuff on stage, getting people laughing. And then I finally did it, and I was just like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
And what was crazy is that when we first hosted our comedy show for the podcast, we it was so cool because it was my first show that I ever hosted, and, like, the first show I ever did in front of, like, family, friends, people, because I didn't tell anyone I ever was, like, trying it out.
Yeah.
And then that's why I'm really glad Isai really forced that one on me too. But like, I ran into a dude I was like best buds with in like elementary school, middle school, like maybe the week before the show. And he's just like, hey, he's like, I seen your show's coming up. He's like, he's like, I'm gonna get a ticket. Let me get 2 tickets from you. And I was like, all right. And I went to his house, brought him the tickets and stuff. And we started talking. He's like, that's crazy. He's like, this is all the shit you used to talk about when you were a kid. Yeah. And he's like, now you're actually like doing it. And I was just like, oh, fuck. I was like, I really needed this right now. Yeah. I was just like, that's just crazy to think about.
It's because most people don't act on their dreams. They think that it can't be done, Yeah. And it's just like that Joe Rogan quote is that most people live quiet lives of desperation. And that's sad, man. Like you don't want to be that person. You got to act on it. You got to do it, try it.
And I really hate that, how they say like, it's almost like 1%ers of people who make it and shit like that. I really feel like that just pushes people away from going after stuff like that. It is realistic for sure. But it also like, for me, I was just like, dude, stroke of luck. It's just like, that's all it is. But stuff like that used to bother me. I'm like, dude, there's like no way.
But what's making it? Like what's making it? What's the 1% of them that make it? You know what I mean? Is it being a millionaire? Is it having all these followers?
Luck,
what is it? Because even if you get to the point to where your podcast gets to whatever, let's just say it only grows locally, or it only grows in the Midwest, or whatever. You've still made it.
Yeah, and see,
you know what I mean? Having, we were talking about this on one of my shows. It was like, even 200 views on YouTube. Imagine 200 people that were sitting right here, watching. That's a lot of fucking people, dude. See, they just watch it at different times. That's it.
They put that into my perspective when I started putting out like shorts and stuff. Like we had like 14K like views on it.
That's a lot of fucking people, dude.
And then my Isai, he's like, dude, Staples Center only fits so many people. And he's like, compare that real quick. And I was just like, oh, fuck. Yeah. I was just like, that is crazy. He's like, it may not have all those likes and whatever. He's like, but those views,
still
and those,
watching it.
He's like, people are seeing it. We're getting that traffic. He's like, and the show's not crazy big. It's still obviously, but I'm still like everything I've accomplished right now. It's still like a good win. Like it is. Didn't even imagine this part before,
Yeah, I mean, look at it this way. I found you. You know what I mean? I found your podcast.
Yeah.
So it's reaching out there. Me and you live in 2 different states. You know what I mean? And I found it. I enjoy it. There's other people that are finding it. So it is growing. You know what I mean?
It's good to hear.
I mean, it's growing, and you're never going to make everyone like it, but you'll find your people, that enjoy it as long as you stay to yourself. Just keep doing yourself, keep doing your thing, keep doing what makes you feel happy. That way, like we said earlier, when you go to do it, it's fun, and then when it's fun, it won't be a job, because you could turn this shit into a job real quick. No. You don't want that. You don't want that.
And that's where I kind of like, is this more a job or am I more having fun? But no, but to you,
there is some discipline you have to put into it. You know what I mean? Like you have to be looking up, maybe doing some research on some things. You know what I mean? Coming up with jokes, stuff like that. There's some work, but not work in the sense where you're showing up and you're debating on getting out of bed, wondering if you want to go do a podcast.
Yeah,
you don't want it to get to that.
No, and I felt like I had that once, and I'm like, all right, I need to switch things up. But I am going to give you this, though. Props to you, though, because this is like, your shit's going to take off for sure. It is going to take off because I've done a lot of podcasts, and I've been engaged in a lot. But this is probably the most engaged, and I've really like this one. Feels really cool.
Thank you, man.
Really good. Yeah, you definitely are this shit's gonna take off.
I try to make it, a comfortable environment. I mean, it's, we're not in the greatest location, but in my basement.
Somewhere.
You got to start somewhere.
I start in my room.
Yeah, and I just try to make it comfortable for people. You know what I mean? Like I want people to come on here. That's why I told you, this podcast can go on however long you want. Like you could be like, hey, I got to go right now. That's no problem. You know what I mean? I want it to be to where you can feel relaxed, where you can talk. You know what I mean? And I'm not inventing the new wheel or anything like that. A lot of podcasts do it, but I've enjoyed those podcasts. So when I started mine, that's what I wanted. I wanted people to come sit down, let loose, have a drink, just kind of kick back. You know what I mean?
Fun,
and just like talk,
And that's how I that's how you just kind of swooped me in so quick. Sometimes that's what I want to do with like the people I bring on too, which I've had, people who've come on my show. They're like, I was nervous at first coming on, but they're like, we got so comfortable so quick.
Yeah. You help them open up. You're kind of funny. You throw some jokes out, kind of make them kind of like comfortable.
My thing is I always throw something a little embarrassing about me in there. So it makes them feel comfortable. They're like, oh damn, like, all right, and just it's kind of like my little bait thing. And then everyone's like, they get comfortable up. And they start going. Because right now I'm trying to get this girl who has an OnlyFans on, and she was down. But damn it, you left me on red, you dick.
Man, that's fucked up.
Yeah, and I'm trying to get her on because I like have so many questions about her. But I even told her like in the message, I was just like, hey, I was like, because I want to talk about like that stuff because I'm so interested in how that shit works. But I told her I was just like, I mean, she has to know, like, I mean, that's
why you're reaching out to her. Yeah,
I wouldn't just reach out to you.
Yeah.
But like I told her, I was like, if you come on, I was like, it's none of like these bashing type of, because I see people like on like TikTok where they bash OnlyFans girls, and I'm just like, it's none of that. I was like, we have fun. I was like, but just let me know if you want to come on. I was like, love to have you on.
Yeah, you're intrigued about that life because it's not something that you do, so you don't understand it, and you'd like to know her perspective on it.
And I was like, I always want to have fun with it, joke, and that's I let people know. I'm like, hey, do you know what the show is? When they're getting ready to come on, they're like, yeah, I've watched stuff, or I know how it kind of goes. So.
Well, that's what I like too, and I'm glad like here locally. A lot of the podcasts from what I've seen, which there's only like a handful, other than like 100 sports ones. There's like so many sports ones.
So many fucking sports.
I don't know how people listen to that shit all day, but I like sports. But damn, dude, like I listen to podcasts because I want to hear conversation of just people talking. I want to feel like I'm in the garage shooting the shit with my boys, or hearing about like these like 2-3 people on this podcast conversate about their life or how they got there, you know, because I find it so interesting. And even people with just normal jobs, you know, that's what I was telling you earlier. Like this podcast wasn't made for, it was made for anybody to come on. Anybody who wants to talk. You got to talk. You can't just sit there and kind of be awkward. You know what I mean?
Oh, God, I hate those so much.
Yeah, you got to talk.
So much.
You know, and I try to do my best because, like, I know you're going to get stuck. You know, this podcast is going on for 2 hours right now. You know
fuck,
I mean?
really?
Yeah.
That went by.
Yeah. So
see, I'm engaged.
Yeah.
You got me engaged.
Yeah. And it's kind of like a time warp when you get in here. But it's like, so I know when you conversate for that long, you can kind of get lost. I get lost sometimes too. Like I'll be like, what the fuck was I about to say? But yeah, man, I mean, it's cool just to have people on and engage. Like even with, you know, this chick that you said you're trying to have off with OnlyFans. And you're trying to explain to them like, hey, have you ever seen our podcast? Like, we just want to have fun, you know, make light. But, you know, they're probably a little intimidated. They've seen other podcasts that are like, they grill them, you know, like me. Like, and that's why where I was getting to, I'm kind of all over the place right now. Where I was getting to was all the podcasts locally, they're kind of a little bit different, you know. So me, when I listen to stuff, I like the Joe Rogans, and I also like The Fighter and the Kid, you know, with Brendan Schaub. They have a more comedic outtake on their conversations. It's a lot of like just fucking around, where Joe Rogan has some like that too, but he also likes to be serious, you know? And that's the same thing with me. I like that personally. That's kind of what I gravitate to more, but I also like the funnier ones like yours. Yours is just all over the place, just throwing jokes, busting ball, talking shit. You know, I love that. You know, it's cool. It's like I'm here and, you know, I'm at work and I'm listening to you guys and it's making my day go by, and I'm not having to like, I don't always want to listen to like a PBS documentary. You know what I mean? Like sometimes I just want to hear some people talking shit to each other. You know, it's funny, you know?
And I get that.
Or like, telling stories. Like you guys have told stories about what you've gone through and stuff like that. And it's nice, you know? It's like,
I always tell like my most embarrassing stories. Everyone's like, why the fuck would you say that? And I'm like, it's fun. Like I want people to know like it's okay to talk about.
And it gives you a sense of power. You're taking power over something that maybe is embarrassing to you. And you're like, well, fuck it. I'm going to let it out there. I'm not going to let it just make me cower away inside. No, like you just let it out.
And that's what I do. I put all my shit out there, really. It's got me in trouble and it's got me like good laughs. And it's just like, this, you know, you can't be afraid of shit like that.
Not everyone's going to agree with what you're going to say.
I have to say though, this is probably the most where I've just like conversate, you know? Yeah. Like we conversate a lot on our show, but it's just our show always takes a fucking turn. So it gets heated. It doesn't get heated. We're always. So
you guys are working on relationships right now, though, too. You guys are 3. You know, well, you've been doing it for a while.
And I only met both of them this year.
That's what I'm saying.
I've only met Brock fucking a couple months back, or when he did my comedy show or the heavy breathing one, and then I met her at the beginning of the year, maybe shortly after my wreck. Because it's when we brought on a bunch of like podcasters, and I just clicked with them like immediately. So, but
it still takes some time to kind of build up that relationship.
And that's what I told them too. I was like, because I've been going to work out with her, and then like him, we talk after like every episode. We kind of have our conversation, talk about stuff going. But I mean, I'm just building the relationship with them, which is fun. And I told him, I was like, I don't want to plan a friendship with y'all. I was like, I want to build
it up. Yeah.
I was like, I don't want to
go out, go get something to eat, go have a drink, or go work out, like you said, like, you know, and then get to know those people, and they'll start to feel that energy from you, and then that energy will happen on the podcast. You know, you guys will start to get to know each other, and then you have stories too. You know what I mean? When you hang out with each other and stuff, and it'll all start to kind of go together. But I mean, any show you listen to, if you listen to the first episodes and you listen to the 100th episode, there's a huge progression. Huge.
I mean, just looking at some of my like, me and Jess, we were just looking at that yesterday. I was comparing like some of my first episodes to like now, and I was just like,
bring that up to you a little bit.
I'm sorry.
No, you're.
I comparing like some of my episodes from then and now. It's just like totally like it's shifted. Sometimes I feel like, have I even like changed, I was like, am I doing better? But like definitely I felt like now when I was definitely looking at that yesterday, I was just like, oh yeah, I've done way better. I've got more comfortable, less awkward, and more relaxed.
And not every show's gonna hit.
Yeah.
Remember that. You know what I mean? Like
and that's what I beat myself out. Yeah. I beat myself a lot. You can't, man.
That. You just got to go in there and have fun, bro.
And I'm just like,
throw it out there. Don't look at it either.
Exactly.
You don't have to do any editing stuff, right?
I haven't, but
that's good.
I only get the clips out. That's all I go for now is just getting the clips out.
Because I think the most challenging part of mine is, and I've grown to it, and I've always had pretty thick skin. You know, I grew up in a household where you needed thick skin for sure. And but I can be honest, it was kind of weird in the beginning rewatching the episode.
It's so weird. You don't watch them once you put it out too.
Yeah. Well, I have to watch them multiple times because I'm in the post edit. I've got to go. You know, I have multiple cameras, so I have to go through like a multi-cam, where I'm chopping everything up, and then, you know, after it's done, I have to rewatch it because I want to make sure that I don't have, like, there'll be points sometimes where both camera angles will come on, or it'll just be, you know, I'll miss something, because especially how long my podcasts go on for. I mean, usually they're all over an hour, you know, and just like the last one was like 3.5 hours we did, me and James. And so after so long, it's like when you're editing there for a while, it's like you may miss something, you know, but rewatching yourself, it can be a bad thing, but it can be a good thing too, because I've noticed there's a lot of things that I need to tweak that I don't like. And it's not necessarily of what I talk about. It's maybe just repetitive words like and stuff like that.
Dude,
you know?
Eastside gets on me so much about that.
It's hard, man. It's hard to do, you know?
He's like, dude, you need to stop saying when someone tells you something like, oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, like you just said it right now. Like.
Yeah, like that. Yeah, like. Yeah, that stuff. I do that so much. And I say fuck a lot.
Yeah.
When I was going through some of my stuff, I was like, dude, shut up.
I do too.
I'm just like, there it is, like again. But I see myself like saying, I'm like, is that all I say?
To be honest with you, though, and one thing, we're always going to be too critical on ourselves too. Majority of people don't even notice it. It's like when you live in your house, you're going to notice every little thing that's wrong. But when people walk in, they don't fucking see it.
That's true. Know? That is very true.
Yeah. But it's still good practice. You know, start saying it less, you know, just work on it. But don't get on yourself if you actually say it in the podcast again. You know what I mean? Just try to make it smaller and smaller and smaller. You know?
And it's hard because once you start conversating and you're just in it, you don't notice it because it's your everyday.
It's filler words because you don't know how to stop it. You know, you don't notice it. You've been talking that way forever, and they're kind of just fillers. It's weird, but you know, like I was saying, it gets to the point to where, you know, you just got to kind of let it be. You know, just flow with it, man. There's nothing you can do. Just conversate, fuck it. If people don't like it that much, they can go the fuck on and watch something else. You know, that's how I look at it. But
yeah, because I talk to my friend all the time, and I'm just like, this could be so much better. This could be this. This could be that. Yeah. And then she's like, I mean, you're doing your best. She's like, I mean, are you doing your best?
Enjoy it, man. Yeah. Just enjoy it, dude. It'll get there. You know, it'll get there. And
I want my stuff to, like, if I feel like I could have given more, then that's when it bothers me.
It takes a while too. I mean, fuck, look at Joe Rogan. So I don't think his hit until like 8 years into it. So, I mean, he didn't start catching traction until what?
I didn't notice it until
2016, 2018, maybe. Probably 20. Maybe COVID, I want to say, dude.
Honestly, because maybe when I really started first noticing him was like 2019.
Yeah.
That's when I started noticing him.
And he started his podcast in 2009.
Yeah.
10 years. I mean, it takes a while. Ask any comedian. Ask Brock. He knows he's only been doing it, he said, 3 years. He knows he's probably got another 7, you know, to go. A lot of these comedians don't make it.
And I'm just getting ready to start, so I'm fucking...
Yeah. And be careful, too. You know, it's fun to chase all these dreams, but sometimes you have to narrow in on one, because if you have too many doors open, you're not giving your energy enough.
That's what I've been struggling with is like, okay, I know what I want to do, but what exactly do I want to do in that certain thing?
I say try them, but know that you need to focus in on maybe 1 or 2 of them only, because I've been there, man.
And that's what I'm doing now is I'm mostly, I feel like more I've been focusing on getting my personal or doing my podcasting stuff, getting that better, and then also like writing and getting like skit stuff. And I haven't been really focused too much on like doing stand up.
Yeah.
Even though stand up's cool, and Brock's been like, you just need he's like, if you can count how many times you've done it on your fingers, he's like, that's not enough. You need to do it to where you don't even
and
know
look
how
at
many
Brock.
times.
When I asked him, what hobbies do you have? He said nothing. Comedy.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the way you got to be about it, man. Look at some of the greats, you know, that's all they do.
You gotta have just that, like I said, the consistency and that like how badly you
repetitions
want it.
too.
Repetition.
You know? How many of these I mean, you could probably do both, especially at your age. You know, you don't have kids, you know, and stuff like that, so you have the time. But you know, you got to let go of everything else. It's got to be your life, you know. And that's not a bad thing.
It's not, and that has definitely been a struggle for me, definitely, because it was just like, I want to do this, but I'm afraid that I'm gonna lose relationships with people. I'm gonna do, but honestly, I had to tell myself, like, listen, that's just gonna come with it. You have to build yourself, and if the person loves you and wants to be around you, they're gonna stick with you regardless. And that's what I'm starting to learn way more. Because like when I did my comedy show, the amount of people who like text me, hit me up that wanted to come, I was just like, oh shit. I was like, okay. I was like, I really didn't think like it was this much, you know. And I had people like, hey, I can't make it, but I really hope it goes good and all this stuff. And it's just like, damn. Because I do have like this problem with like, I don't know if people are really fucking with it. And I don't really ever care what people think, you know, but sometimes I just like people who I want, you know, to care for this stuff. Yeah. Just I'm like, oh, do they really give a shit? And then like I get all these like, I get the love, but sometimes I feel like I don't really fully appreciate it, and I'm still thinking I'm wanting more, and that goes back to our other thing back when we're like, we want more and more. It's like, no, you need to love the shit you have now.
Yeah, just enjoy the ride, dude. And I will tell you what, if you stick on that journey of working out, it'll help you out.
And you know, and I'm really because I don't know how many times I've started working out, then quit, then started and quit, and just it's
but not just working out, diet too. That's a big
and thing. That oh my, that's the one I've been trying, because I eat shitty breakfasts. Breakfasts
you can lift all you want, man, but if you're eating out 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times a week,
and that's my main problem.
You're not gonna get. I mean, yeah, you'll get stronger, you'll get a little bit of muscle definition, but that fat still stays. Yeah. You have to eliminate the fat. That's what it is. Fat is over your muscles,
and that is what I'm honestly having like struggling with is. Just I need some meal prep, and I also just need to just really stop fucking with like in the mornings. Like I love fucking McDonald's breakfast. Oh my, it's so good, but I know how bad it is for you. And like those quick trip pizzas, breakfast pizzas. You ever had those?
Yeah,
fire.
Yeah, they're good.
I just had those this morning.
Yeah,
fire. But then I'm like, dude, like you cannot eat these. I'm like, dude, you have stuff you want to do. And that's the other thing I keep in mind. I was like, I have stuff I want to do, but I need to be healthy for me to do this shit. Like, I'm not, I don't want, my worst fear is that I'm going to get somewhere with this shit, but my health is going to fucking kill me. And then I have to live with that. What you were saying is on your deathbed with all these ideas and stuff.
And it can, man. Diabetes is a real problem in America, you know, and it can happen to you at any age.
Yep.
And it happens overweight.
And
you know,
luckily so far, didn't have to deal with that. But I've always
diabetes sucks. If anybody knows a diet, you got to take an insulin shot every fucking day. I think twice a day.
That's what I've been.
And you can't survive off it. Diabetes literally starves you. Like your body's not getting insulin, and it starves you. I mean,
that's what I'm trying to keep myself, because like I've always been a water drinker, but I'm definitely been drinking so much more. Like. And I'm trying to slowly get off of like caffeine and stuff too, so like
and do it slow. You know what I mean?
Because I remember
I still like caffeine. You see me? I just drink a Celsius.
Yeah. Well, I remember I went off caffeine and then I just dry turkeyed it, and I was having headaches and I was feeling like
it's because that's sugar.
Yeah, and I was
You're not
just
getting
like,
the sugars that you
I was
were
like,
getting.
why the fuck am I feeling like this? And my mom was like, did you just cut it off completely? I was like, yeah. She's like, no, you need to like lean into it. So now I only have like a pop a day, and it's usually only in the morning. Just some caffeine, just to kind of give me like a little up or something.
Don't
but
do that.
It's
I'm
starting to realize it's not a good.
Especially in the morning. Think about it. You're jump starting your day with a fucking bottle of sugar.
Yeah, like I'll drink water, but I don't even finish the pop. Like I'll grab a can, but I don't ever finish it fully. I kind of like drink it halfway and then I throw it away.
I would suggest black coffee and, with a little bit of creamer.
See, and I've never been a coffee person, but I'm slowly getting into it because I'm trying to switch out of the pop shit.
Yeah, I like coffee. Coffee's good.
I can't drink coffee. Like I had to add like.
Yeah, put a little creamer in it. Put a little bit of sweetener in it. Yeah.
Yeah, that I have because I can't.
Yeah, you don't have to be extreme and drink straight black coffee. Like I know some of the guys say that, but how boring does your life get when it's that dull? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you may not get to your goal in 6 months, but maybe it takes a year, Yeah. Because you're not as strict about it, but at least you're living life, What I would recommend, meal prep is key, okay? You're not going to lose all this weight in 3 months, so get that out of your fucking head. It's not going to happen. It's going to take a while, especially depending on what stage of life you're in, Yeah,
and also I'm recovering from all this stuff I had to go through. Yeah. So
it's probably hard for you to lift bigger weights and stuff like that too.
And my brother told me, he was like, he's like, I hate to say it, but he's like, every person that usually fucks them that are overweight, once they start working out, it's almost a guarantee that you're kind of going to get hurt a little bit.
Yeah, if you get too crazy about it in the beginning.
He's like, regardless, you're going to strain something, you're going to pull something, and that's what usually fucks people's mentality up with
ego lifting. People want to lift heavier weights because they want to look cool, and then they don't have proper technique, and then they hurt themselves.
And he's like, and regardless, he's like, even with your body just how it is, it's not used to that, so you're probably more than likely going to hurt something. He's like, not going to be like crazy hurt, but enough to where it's going to scare somebody. He's like, but you just got to fight through that shit.
Well, that's why I suggest getting your diet started first. Okay. Start eating chicken, rice, plain stuff, fish, red meat. For you, sub out some of the carbs for greens. Instead of having rice, have broccoli and chicken. Don't look at food as food. I'm a foodie. I love food. I don't think there's any food I've ever had that I didn't like. I love going to different places around town. I love going to different places in the state or different states and just trying a place I've never had before. I love it. But during the week, I try to tell myself, during this time, we're in prison. You know what I mean? We're eating the 3 meals and that's it. It's fuel. Food is fuel. And I'm not a saint about it. I fuck up at times, I'll fucking get that iced donut fucking in the damn vending machine. I'm like,
something sweet.
That looks good right now. You know what I mean? I fuck up too, but get better and better, and you'll get to the point to where you'll tweak it even more and more. And that feeling that you have for the McDonald's in the morning, that shit will start to go away, bro. Because once you start seeing the fat come off and you're feeling kind of swole a little bit and you're looking slim and the clothes are fitting better, because a majority of the time, it's not about the clothes. It's about the clothes that are over the body. Your body's what makes clothes look good, and that want to have that soda in the morning, that want to have McDonald's, it'll start to go away more and more. You'll see yourself only going to McDonald's twice a week, then once a week, then I don't really like McDonald's. Yeah, I was the same way. I used to like McDonald's. I used to like their breakfast burritos. I'm not saying I'll never eat it, but I can tell you what, I haven't been to McDonald's in fucking a long time, awesome. Because I passed by it and I'm just like, ugh, I want to feel like that. It feels good right there. It's like, damn, them breakfast burritos sound good.
That most
afterwards,
the healthiest I felt this year, and it's kind of weird, is once I got in my wreck, I couldn't eat anything because my whole body was kind of closed up and stuff. So then plus they had me on this pain medicine, so I could barely eat anything too. But like they were all like, dude, you, and everyone was telling me, and I was just telling this to Jess yesterday, is like, I've been so bloated, and I've been feeling a little bit more bloated lately, but not as bad as I was feeling before then. And they're like, you look like bloated. And like after you got out of the hospital and you did all that stuff, they're like, you looked way more hydrated. They're like, we could tell you lost weight. You don't look as uncomfortable anymore.
Yeah, you went on a huge calorie deficit. You weren't eating.
Yeah, literally. And I was just like,
your body was eating away all your fat.
And I told him, I was like, even though I couldn't move like other ways, I kind of felt a little bit more healthier. And like, cause even like now, like even though like the time it's been kind of fucking me up, but I realize I'm like, dude, I've been so much more tired now.
Yeah.
I'm going to bed earlier, and it's when I worked out and did all that, I was up longer.
Yeah, lack of exercise. It's people think that you go and work out and it's going to make you tired. It actually gives you more of an energy boost.
And I heard someone talking about that. And I was listening to The Rock and Joe Rogan, and they were talking about that.
I listened to that one today.
Yeah, and they were talking about like how they have more energy afterwards. And when I did that, I was just like, oh my God. They were like, I was like, they are right.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not as tired. I was like, this is what I definitely need to do more.
There's also other thing too. When you get a little older and stuff like that, start getting your blood work done, see what you're deficient on. A lot of people are deficient in certain vitamins. Tests can be deficient in tests. There's so many things, even women, their hormone imbalances. There is hormone therapies now that you can go and get your blood work done and figure out what am I deficient in? Because it's not only just diet and exercise too. It's also what are you lacking in your body? Joe Rogan just had a doctor or a biologist, I think he is. He was on there, and he's the one who helped Dana White. I think Dana White just did like an 84-hour fast, and which I idolize those people. I wish I could do that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's fucking hard, dude. Yeah. I think I've done a 20. I used to do a what was it? Every other day I'd fast 24 hours or something like that. It was called the Alpha Fast or some shit. I can't remember.
I feel like I know what you're talking about. Like I've heard that.
Yeah, it was something weird, and or like one meal a day. But you got to be careful with those because it's always it's not good for everybody.
Yeah, not everyone can do it
because you got to be careful because some people will do them and then they'll gorge themselves with food afterwards, and then they're just like bloated. Kind of like probably what happened to you.
Yeah,
you got into the wreck. You lost a lot of fucking weight because you weren't eating that much. So your body's eating away all your fat. But then afterwards, you probably ate a lot.
I could show you, like, even when I show, she's like, oh, people were saying you're bloated. And I was like, no, trust me. Like, I looked so bloated.
Yeah. But then after you got better, you probably started going back to the same eating habits you had. And and then your body got into shock. And it's like, oh, shit. Like, let's start storing everything now again, because you just starved us. So,
and that's that's literally what happened. Like, look, just you can kind of see right there, how kind of I'm really looking. And then this video we took probably more recent right after it.
Oh yeah,
I fucking look way
big difference.
Yeah, I feel like the beard helped too, but also, but like,
I wish I had that makeup.
But
it's like, man's makeup right there.
Real honestly, but like that though. But that's that's why I was just like, damn. I was like, I look so much like I looked a little bit more healthier than what because I felt even like shit. Like I felt like my stomach was just out more, and I just felt like when I put my clothes on, it just didn't feel comfortable. But now. Like, I still feel comfortable putting my clothes on and stuff and doing all that stuff. But sometimes I'm like, I do have those days where I'm like, I feel a little bloated. You know, I need. You got
to be careful what you eat, man. A lot of the shit we eat, a lot of the processed foods, a lot of grains and breads and shit, inflame the body, dude.
I see, and that's what I'm bad with, like breads and shit.
I love it too, man.
I eat so much.
Make sure you're drinking water. Maybe you're not drinking enough water.
I drink.
How many of those you drink?
I drink so well.
You should be drinking at least almost a gallon a day, depending on your physical activity.
So that's what I was doing. Is I bought I had just lost my gallon thing. I had fucking got a hole in it. And I'm gonna go buy a metal one or whatever.
Yeah, I would suggest that. Just plastic right now is really bad.
Yeah,
a lot of microplastics and stuff like that get in your body. That's what messes up your hormone levels.
And it was a weird one too because you had to like suck on it. It isn't. You just don't.
Oh, yeah.
It was weird. I didn't really. Yeah. It was weird. I didn't like it.
Real feminine energy right there.
Well, it was only what I had at the time, so I was just like, I'm gonna take it till I can get my new one. Because I went to Target and I was like, are these all?
You're just sitting there sucking on it.
Yeah, I was just like. I was like, okay. I was like, I feel a little too feminine. I was like, I don't like this. And I had girls like, why are you sucking on the straw? I'm like, is this gay? And they're like, I don't know.
A little bit.
I was like, okay, I need to get. I was like, if y'all are talking shit, but so I'm definitely getting a new one. But I drink the shit like at work. That's all I fucking drink.
That's good. And what do you work 5 days a week?
Yeah.
Use work as the time. That period, it's no going out to eat. Stay your ass at work. Bring your fucking lunch.
That's where I eat the most.
That's where everybody does, dude. Yeah. I don't know how people do it. They go out to eat every fucking day at lunch, okay? You said you have the same issue. That's so much money, bro. So much fucking money. Why do you think I'm
still looking for an apartment?
And I'm not saying grocery shopping is cheaper. It's expensive too.
But it is
but it's a lot cheaper than going out to eat, you know?
And I have all around my job, like...
North Kansas City, it's awesome down there. I used to work down there.
Yeah, it's all fast food, all bullshit. So it's just like... What the fuck am I going
And then you get tired of eating out all the time. It's like, damn, I've had Taco Bell for the 5th time this week. Or McDonald's and Wendy's.
It's gross. And I've been like, I'm glad now I'm really like, I've been setting goals for myself. I'm like, listen, you want to see the new Deadpool? Let's fucking make it.
That's cool.
You don't have to see a fucking, like, I've been I get extreme with it. I'm like, listen, bro, you're going to die if you keep doing shit like this. Like,
you should, bro.
And I'm like, you need to fucking get into it. And I'm trying to push that mentality more and more into my head.
That's how I do it when I'm on the elliptical machine, when I'm doing interval training. I'll literally tell myself, if you're not fucking going hard in these last like 30 seconds a minute, someone's kidnapping your kids and fucking like, I make up scenarios in my mind.
It helps,
and I see it, bro. I get a little weird about it, dude. Kind of like I heard Joe Rogan talk about this too. He literally creates, and this is kind of what I do, like a scenario. Like, if I'm not pushing hard enough, somebody's taking my kid and putting her in a car and fucking taking off. And I got to give it my all so I can catch up, grab that motherfucker, beat his ass, and get my kid back. You know
literally,
what I mean?
That's why I'm thinking, like, dude, if you get in a fight and you're getting your ass whooped, you want to know, like, you have the stamina to get the fuck out of this or get yourself back up.
That's another thing, too, now. And I suggest that, too, dude, if you're ever thinking about, I think all men in general, women, too, should take a combat sport, but especially men. You should know how to protect yourself.
And I mean, I did boxing when I was younger too. At Eastside's family, they have a gym too, Leo Moreno gym, and I used to box there back when I was a kid. But I've also I did wrestling, so I've always done like physical. Yeah. If I did sports, it was physical.
It's just the time period, you know.
Yeah, and
like luckily you're still young.
But well, he's trying to get me to do boxing again.
Great cardio,
and it is great conditioning, cardio, but. And also in my head, when I work out, I still use my stuff because it was honestly the best kind of working out but wrestling, it's this extreme working out because you got to cut weight.
One of the hardest sports out there.
Fuck yeah. And I only go for the harder things in life. I never go for the easier shit. But I kind of use that mentality when I do work out, which fucks me now because my body's not conditioned.
Yeah, don't overdo it. That's when the ego lifting starts.
And that's where I stop myself. I'm like, all right, dude, it's gonna take time. Give it time.
But at least you're not 30 and trying to do this shit. I let my body sit from like the age of 18 to I didn't start working out till like 26, 27. I had worked out time periods in there, you know. A new gym would open up and I'd go there for 2 months and fall out. Have a membership for a fucking year for no reason, just to have a little key card on your fucking keychain.
So that's what I haven't done yet. Because everyone's like, "Why don't you just sign up for a gym?" I was like, I will sign up a gym when I know I'm getting serious about it.
But sometimes signing up will push you to get serious because you have that monthly payment.
See that too, because my ex-girlfriend, because she was into doing like working out hard too, because she was in the military and stuff, so she always had to like be in that.
Good discipline.
And she was always wanting me to come work out with her too. And she almost convinced me to go into Genesis. But then I was just like, damn. I was like, that's a crazy
nice gym.
It is a very nice gym.
Expensive.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I was like, this is expensive. I was like, if I'm going for a gym, I was like, I'm going to have to go like these
Planet
other ones before I get locked into
something. Dude, even Planet Fitness, $10 a month. You can't beat that. Yeah, it's a fucking weird looking gym, and they have pizza days on Tuesday, which is fucking weird, but they have weights. That's all that matters.
And what's funny is I went in there on a Tuesday, and there was pizza, and I was just like, what the hell? And I was like, I'm trying to get away from this shit.
Trying to keep people fat in here.
I was like, you want us. Yeah, I was like, you want your money here.
Well, they do it that cheap, too, because sometimes at that cheap, people don't care to lose that money every month, so they don't show up. You know what I mean? But, dude, I worked out there for years. I loved it. I mean, I didn't mind it, you know? Do I know the difference between like a 10th Planet and an OGKC? OGKC is like bodybuilding, Instagram models walking around, like, you know, that's fucking dope.
I follow this one girl. She does this. She works out. She's like one of them gym baddies or whatever. Oh my God, I'm just
better not get caught lacking. You end up on a TikTok video, fucking staring.
I don't even care. I'm like, go ahead, whatever. Count me a lot. I don't even care. I called it here. Yeah. If you see that video of me, I called it right here where you see me.
Well, I mean, they know what they're doing. I kind of find it kind of funny. Some of these chicks will be recording themselves just ass out, fucking.
I can't see if I'm going to work out.
Baffled when someone's staring at them. It's like, bitch.
See, when I see people working out, I see a lot of people who start working out.
Yeah.
And they're recording themselves doing it when they're like just starting out.
Oh yeah.
And I hate, like me, I did that once before and then I stopped working out. Then I was like, that you just look goofy for that.
Well, a lot of people want to push themselves, so they think if they put it out there, it's like when people post like checking in at blah blah blah.
Yeah.
It pushes them because people see it and they don't want to. They want to be held accountable.
Yeah.
For it, you know.
I don't know, but it's always when I see those people and then they stop and then I see them post it again and I'm just like, to me, it's just like I can't do that. Like if I'm gonna work out, then I'm gonna work out. I'm not gonna let. In my head, I'm like, just don't even let people know unless you're trying to get help from them to work out. But like, I don't really want that because
whatever works, man.
Yeah, you know? It's everyone has their own thing how they do it.
Start it out though. I'm telling you, diet.
Yeah, and that's what everyone tells me. That's what my brother tells me. That's what everyone. They're like, you just need to diet. They're like,
start cutting things down. Stop going out to eat during lunch. Boom. Bring yourself some food, but bring food, not a sandwich.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
So that's the
like
other thing.
Bring actual food. Use Sundays. I don't know if you have time on Sundays, but cut like a little 4-hour window. Throw some chicken in the fucking oven. Buy you a rice maker. Throw some rice in the rice maker, and boom, you're good to go, man. I mean, there's fucking enough preps for at least 4 or 5 days, depending on how much you cook.
And see, and that's what I'm really needing to lean into more for sure, and just tell myself, okay, you need to do this because you're spending way too much.
Mix it up. Don't make it so hard. Do some chicken and some rice. Do some broccoli. Steam it. Vegetables. Steam it up. And like I said, just eat it. Just fucking eat it. You know what I mean? Like when it tastes like, I'm not saying broccoli tastes great. I've grown used to it, but
my thing is if I'm eating something and I'm starting to get in my head, I'm like, this tastes weird. I just chug water.
Yeah,
just
chug it, and just say, stop being a bitch. Eat this shit. It's good for you.
I'm like, you're not a little kid anymore. Eat your fucking veggies.
Because
bro.
What do we know? Sometimes things that are good are bad for us, dude. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Some of the shit that you don't like, medicine don't always taste good, man. So so the shit that kind of sucks sometimes can actually be kind of good for you.
And I'd rather I'm trying to tell myself, like, you rather take these vegetables and all that shit than having to take pills and all that shit to keep you healthy.
Or a fucking shot twice a day.
I was like, I'd rather face this than face that shit.
And do it now. You're only 23, so start now. It's good. You said you have a friend that you go with to the gym. Mm-hmm. Continue. You know what I mean? And then let go of everything else, dude. Fucking let go of that shit. I'm not saying be a hermit. Go out and have fun. You know what I mean? Yeah. Have your time, but moderation. Moderation. And even moderation is always good in life. If you eat out fucking 7 times a week, that's bad for you. If you work out 7 times a week, that's not necessarily good for you. You know what I mean? For your body. So just have a good moderation of things to make yourself content, happy to keep going, motivate yourself looking at videos, other people that are in the similar position as you, talk with them, kind of build that up. But always know though, this is kind of a one road for yourself, because you don't want to start getting dependent on that person you go to the gym with because they may fall out.
And see, and that's been also a problem for me. Like I've gone with people and then they fall out and then it just ruins.
It's made you kind of lose confidence too. You can't do that. You gotta get to the point to where you feel confident going by yourself, and it's hard.
And being independent is one of those things that you have to fucking learn.
Especially in your 20s, dude. I mean, you're so used to being surrounded by you. It wasn't that long ago you just got out of high school. You had your crowd, you had your friends, But the older you get, the more you start seeing that crowd disperse, and you have to take that road by yourself.
And which I have,
And it's empowering, man.
It is.
It's not, it can be lonely. But more and more you get callous to it, and you go, oh, I kind of like this.
And see, I do. So I mean, I do a lot of stuff on my own. I've been forcing myself to do a lot of a lot of times I used to go to the store, and I'm like, let me take someone with me. It'd just be more fun. It'd be something. But sometimes now I'm starting to enjoy just being like, I was talking to to one of my friends the other day, and I was just like, "Do you ever go to the movies by yourself?" And they're like, "Dude, it's so fun." I'm like, "Isn't it?" I was like, because I started going to the movies by myself.
Yeah,
shit's fun. I'm like doing little shit just to do on my own. Yeah, just to build that more like.
And it's empowering, dude.
It is. It really, and it makes you feel like if I can do this shit on my own, how much more shit can I do? I was like, then I feel like a badass motherfucker. Like I'm doing all this stuff,
and you kind of create that allure to yourself. You know, people will see that around you. They'll feel that energy. You know what I mean? Like, oh, he doesn't. He's kind of his own person. You know, he's got his own thing going on. You know, and that's what you want.
Yeah,
you don't always have to be out there with everybody telling everybody everything. Yeah, I know we have these podcasts and we're very open about a lot of stuff, but we also have our lives too. There's things that we don't talk about, things that we keep to ourselves. You know, because it's personal to us. You know. And, you know, you just, it's a good thing. I think everyone should do that, you know, because I think if you rely on too many people for happiness.
At some point, there's going to be a point where you're by yourself and it's either you train
yourself. The older you get, the more you see that.
And it's like you have to train yourself at some point to do that, because I know people that have only, and this is me too, but like relied on a lot of people and a lot of stuff. And then when that person, I mean, God forbid, like say you like rely on your parents so much, and then whenever their time comes, then you're like, oh,
or a tragic accident.
Exactly. Yeah. And so that's why I'm like trying to build myself and doing other stuff and it's slowly going, but I know at least now I'm trying it instead of
making steps,
getting ahead of it. But you know, at least I can prepare myself.
Yeah, that's good, man. Keep it up, dude, and just stick with it, man, and just know that you'll fall off the boat. You'll get back on the boat. You'll fall off the boat, and you know. But at some point, you'll get so tired of doing that. You'll be like, "I'm not falling off this motherfucker again." You know what I mean? And that working out, eating better, living better, it'll spill over into your podcast. It'll spill over into your career. It'll spill over into your personal life. You know, you'll feel more confident. You'll feel more happier, you know, and it's not a or end all be all. It's not a one pill fixes everything. You'll still deal with stuff, but man, it makes it easier to deal with, you know? And that's where I was getting to when I was telling you earlier, especially like a combat sport. If you were to do something, and you don't have to go to a gym and be the next fucking, you know, Mayweather, be the next fucking Gordon Ryan or whatever, you know, you can go in there and just be a practitioner of the art. Okay. And being that, you learn discipline, you learn to humble yourself, you educate yourself. And at the same time, it's, you know, working out can be dull, man, after a while. A lot of people fall out because it's the same shit all the time. When you're in a fucking gym and, you know, whether it be boxing or jiu-jitsu or, you know, Muay Thai, whatever you're doing, you're learning something every fucking time, you know? And in those times, like, you know, I can only speak to jiu-jitsu, you know, that's what I've done. When I'm in there and we're drilling, my mind is occupied. For 2 hours, I'm not thinking about anything else. I'm thinking about either the move that we're learning or not getting choked out when we're live rolling. Right. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, and it just the conditioning that comes with it, the strength and everything, dude, it's great. You know what I mean? And so, like I said, if anybody's ever looking at that, you know, I'm very big on doing that. And then it'll give you a reason to work out. It'll give you a reason to eat better and live better. You know, you learn a lot from it, dude. So, but yeah, man, hey, it was nice talking to you.
Hell yeah, man. This was a good one.
I'm glad you stayed on. I know mine can kind of go on for a while.
Oh, no, I was enjoying this. I didn't even know this time went by.
Yeah, for 3 hours now.
Oh, shit. Hey, this is the longest podcast I've ever done.
Really?
And I didn't even, like, realize it.
Well, I appreciate it, man. I do. Do you guys have anything coming up you want to talk about?
Other than just the podcast, getting that out, we got some new stuff coming out.
Heavy Breathing Podcast.
Heavy Breathing Podcast.
No Solutions.
No, right? No Solution Productions as well. Then they got a bunch of other. If you go to No Solutions on Instagram or YouTube or whichever, mostly their Instagram, you'll find links to other podcasts too.
I'll make sure I put it in the video too. It'll all be in there.
But our podcast, we come out. We put out every Monday, I believe. Yeah, Monday. Sometimes Tuesday.
Okay.
Try to get it out by 9 or so. But we comedy, and then we have other stuff coming up we're gonna do, adding on to it, not just podcasts, but like all kinds of cool stuff we have planned. So
that's awesome.
It's gonna be cool.
You guys have any events or anything coming up? I know you guys do that sometimes.
Not
stuff in the works.
Yeah, we got some stuff coming soon. Awesome. probably like next year or so. But yeah, some cool stuff.
Well, hey man, I'd love to have you on anytime. So you're always welcome.
Was awesome, man.
Yeah,
same with you coming on our podcast. Definitely come have some fun with us.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, get to hear some weird shit. Yeah, we'll get you going.
And if anybody else, if you know anybody else, let me know, man. I've been very trying to reach out to people and let them know, like, I mean, this is a good place to come on and talk, man. There's nothing intimidating about it. Of course, you've been in front of the camera for a while, so you kind of get it. But even with a guy who has never been on, I'm trying to make it to where it's comfortable, So I hope they see that. And even like me and you, we didn't know each other until 3 hours ago.
Yeah.
So we hit it off.
Now you just gave me some of the best advice.
Yeah. Hey, I appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
I think we learned a lot from each other. You know what I mean? So it was great having you on. Thanks, man.
Thank you.